This is a gym that everyone is terrified of. But the one who loves working out here isn't human. It's a super weird zombie. He has never hurt a single human. He has no interest in humans at all. All he loves is lifting weights. Not only does he have a perpetual motion-like physique, he also got a weird system. Every time he finishes a set of workouts, he gets mysterious stat points. Just when you go to the 3rd floor of the supermarket to look for supplies, a strange scent catches your attention. You turn your head to look and see several wooden shoe racks blocking that area. What's peeking out looks exactly like a human hand. But a new problem pops up. If I run into humans right now, how am I supposed to communicate with them? First off, I can't talk. Second, I don't know sign language. As you're thinking that, a loud bang rings out. The shoe racks suddenly collapse. A figure dashes out at a speed far faster than an average person. Charging straight at you, a cold glint flashes in his hand, aimed right at your throat. This strike is extremely aggressive, but you quickly dodge sideways to avoid it, and roar angrily at him. Are you fucking stupid? We're on the same side. But to Lin Fan, the survivor, your green face and sharp fangs put him under immense pressure, especially that roar just now. It's reeking of killing intent. He never expected that. You'd dodge a sneak attack from such close range. In comparison, your strength is clearly way stronger than the zombies he's encountered before. Not even on the same level. Next to Lin Fan, besides a young woman, there's also a mother and her child, an old man and a middle-aged man in a suit. With Lin Fan holding you back, the others all run outside. Only the old man stays rooted to the spot, not moving. You look at the scene in front of you and raise your hands to gesture wildly in the air. You want to say you won't hurt them and tell them not to be scared. But when Lin Fan sees this, his expression grows even grimmer. I have to admit, you're the first intelligent zombie I've ever encountered. So, you mean you'll let me go and leave the rest of them here for you? Is that right, hearing that? You immediately roar again, no. Why is this getting more and more misunderstood? You want to try gesturing again? But Lin Fan suddenly lunges forward at you. The steel knife in his hand strikes again. Right at this moment, the middle-aged man who ran off earlier suddenly charges from behind, raising a watermelon knife to slash at the back of your neck. You immediately lift your leg and kick the incoming Lin Fan flying. He only stops when he crashes through the shoe racks behind him. Then with a loud thud, you swing your knife backward and chop off the middle-aged man's head before his knife can land. These human survivors are way too ruthless. They didn't even give me a chance to talk, but they were trying to kill me. I can't just hold back, obviously. Just then, the old man who had been staring blankly this whole time suddenly picks up Lin Fan's knife and charges at you. You don't cut them any slack. Then there's a sharp squelch, and the old man falls to the ground dead. When Lin Fan sees this, killing intent surges through him instantly. His strength and speed get another boost. Then he charges at you recklessly. Dude, what the hell? Are you insane? You guys attacked first, aiming straight for my head. Now you're acting like I'm the violent one. You think nice guys are easy to push around, huh? You grab the wrist holding his knife. Press your other hand against his chest. Throw him over your shoulder in a perfect suplex and hurl him flying. Lin Fan blacks out for a second when he hits the ground. It feels like he just got hit by a car, and his body is covered in tiny cuts from the broken glass. The surrounding zombies smell the blood. Then they all start sprinting over like madmen.
This scene
Is caught by Lui Weii right as she's about to leave. Before she has time to process what she's seeing, she screams in panic, Lin Fan. Run! Right after that! You walk quickly to the broken window, look down and see Lin Fan push past several zombies, then disappear from sight in just a few seconds. His strength is weaker than yours right now, but way stronger than an average person. There's a good chance he's the protagonist of this world. Since we've already become enemies, I have to eliminate him for good. Just when you're about to jump down to chase him, you hear a terrified gasp from behind you. I know you can understand me. Eat me first, okay? My meat is more tender. It's Lui Weii, Lin Fan's girlfriend. You know full well, she's trying to buy time for her boyfriend to escape. But you don't pay her any attention at all, and just jump straight down. The second you land, the scattered zombies around freeze for a second. Then they look scared, and actually step aside to make way for you. This catches you off guard. Zombies are usually super aggressive after all. You don't waste any time, then you push off hard with your legs, chasing straight after that human. Half an hour later, you return to the supermarket. Lui Weii immediately steps back out of instinct. The only thing she's relieved about is she doesn't see Lin Fan anywhere. Lui Weii is confused, but she's mostly just scared. She saw zombies eating people with her own eyes. Even if this zombie is intelligent, he probably just sees her as food. You open your mouth first, Then start gesturing with your hands again, pointing at her for a second, then pointing at the ground next. Lui Weii doesn't really understand, but she can tell that the zombie in front of her, other than looking terrifying, doesn't seem to have any ill intentions. Mr. Zombie, do you mean I should stay here? Is that right, hearing that? You nod in relief. Finally, someone who can roughly understand my gestures. Soon you go find some paper and a pen, and start writing something carefully. Lui Weii is even more confused when she sees this. Her mouth is hanging wide open in shock. This is more surprising than seeing a pig climb a tree. But you look at your messy, crooked handwriting. Turns out after turning into a zombie, doing these delicate tasks is way harder. But it should still be readable. I'm a good zombie. It's safe here. Lui Weii doesn't even know how to react to this. But she still plucks up the courage to ask. Lin Fan, the guy you threw down just now. How is he? Oh, so that guy's name is Lin Fan. I gotta say, this Lin Fan runs so damn fast. And he's got ridiculous luck too. Several times when I was just about to catch up to him, a horde of zombies would randomly show up and block my way. By the time I got through the horde, he was already long gone. You lower your head and keep writing. Didn't catch up. He's probably alive. After getting this answer, Lui Weii lets out a sigh of relief. Even such a powerful Mr. Zombie couldn't catch him, so he's probably fine. Gotta admit, that kid Lin Fan has pretty good taste. Lui Weii isn't a top-tier beauty, but she has a really great figure. Too bad you have zero interest in women right now. All you want is to get stronger. Right after that, you put the stat points you just earned into spirit. Instantly, you feel like something's different. Wait, that's not right. Your zombie brain is working several times faster than before. Actually, you're a transmigrator. When you first arrived, you were just a mindless walking corpse. Your movements were stiff. You could only make low growling sounds like a wild animal. Luckily, you activated the workout to get stronger system. You get stat points every time you work out. You can assign the stat points however you want. Right now, you ask Lui Weii to go dispose of the other two corpses. In case you develop an interest in these things someday. Lui Wei's face was a bit grim, but she had to obey since she was in no position to refuse. Besides, doesn't this prove this zombie doesn't eat humans? That's a good thing. Maybe my group misunderstood him from the very start. That's why things ended up like this. But it's too late to regret now. Right then you hand over a note. It says you change clothes. I'll leave first, then you jump out of the broken window. Only then did Lui Weii realize. Her short-sleeved shirt was completely soaked through. Her skin underneath was faintly visible. Her cheeks flushed slightly. Then she thought again. It's no big deal if a zombie sees it, right? It's probably the same as being seen by a cat or a dog. You only came out for one thing. To pick fights with other zombies. Fighting is a form of exercise anyway. You take 2 knives out of your backpack, then charge straight into the horde of zombies. Until night falls. She had been terrified listening to the roars all afternoon. But Lui Weii still poked her head out to look down. She saw you, the zombie, holding 2 kitchen knives, chasing and hacking at other zombies. That was absolutely terrifying. She only knew that all zombies would feed at night. They would only attack their own kind if there wasn't enough food around. Is he trying to claim this area as his territory? And won't let other zombies come near? And have I become his property too? Lui Weii thought to herself. You were already back. You were covered in filth right now. White breath came out of your fanged mouth. You could feel that after night fell. Your body had undergone some unusual changes. Lui Weii stammered, trying to say something, but her voice was very soft. If your hearing hadn't changed, you probably wouldn't have heard her at all. Mr. Zombie, you guys get more agitated at night, right? You won't eat us, will you? You shook your head in confusion. Was that why you sensed danger earlier? Even if other zombies are twice as strong at night, they're no threat to you anyway, right? Right after that, you take a palm-sized radio out of your backpack. You turn it on in front of Lui Weii, then put the radio down. Then you take out some premium ingredients. Lui Weii got even more confused. Mr. Zombie is tired, wants to listen to some music to relax. I get that. But why this song of all songs? After it played for more than 10 minutes, the radio suddenly cut out for a second. To all survivors. Hello, this is Shelter Z11. We have the latest announcement from the radio station. The Kyoto research team has discovered a method for artificial awakening. The awakening ceremony will be held at noon tomorrow. All citizens can sign up voluntarily. You frown upon hearing this. Awakened ones. It seems awakened ones have appeared among humans long ago, but they managed to find a way to artificially induce awakening in such a short time. You have to admire those researchers. That Lin Fan must be an awakened one for sure. I just wonder what rank of awakened he is. Then you walk to the men's clothing section. After changing into a set of clean clothes, you toss a note to Lui Weii. Get some rest early. Don't be scared, it's safe here. Lui Weii couldn't understand the zombie in front of her more and more. Mr. Zombie, you're a zombie. Do you really need to care that much about your appearance? You head to the gym on the second floor. You lift a 100 kilos of barbell and start working out. Even though the stat gains are getting smaller and smaller now, you don't need to sleep anyway. It's better than nothing. After working out all night, the rating on your stat panel finally changed. It changed to Elite Grunt. It seems you need each stat to reach a certain level. To get the rating changed, looks like I need to develop all stats evenly from now on. At the same time, the rating changed. You could also feel that your strength had undergone some kind of major change. The world in your eyes started moving very slowly. I bet I can beat 10 copies of my last night's self right now. It's time to go check out the city center. At the same time, in an office building near the city center, a 5-person team was gathered here. 4 men and 1 woman. Teams like theirs are all made up of awakened ones. One of the female team members asked confusedly, "Captain, according to the info the scout team brought back yesterday, that special zombie is around here. But I haven't sensed anything unusual so far." The young man called the captain had a serious look on his face. The special zombie has basic intelligence already. It's not that easy to capture, but it's a very important research specimen. We have to bring it back. Suddenly, the team member who was watching downstairs with binoculars exclaimed in delight, "Captain, there's a zombie with a backpack on the street. It looks around when it moves. It looks like our target, and it's coming this way fast." This awakened team knew very well. The zombie in front of them has at least captain-level strength. Regular light weapons can't deal fatal damage to it. So one team member took out the RPG he was carrying. The higher-ups only said to catch it alive if possible. But everyone knew, a single team can't possibly capture a captain-level zombie alive. But a dead one is still valuable for research, right? Right now, you, who were still looking for supplies, hadn't noticed the danger yet. You were very confused. Why are there so few zombies around here? You heard a shout of fire from a distance. You had just noticed there were humans on the rooftop far away. Your scalp immediately tingled. You rolled to the side violently. Fuck, I didn't even mess with you guys. Luckily, you dodged fast enough. It only left a few white marks on your skin. If you had gotten hit, you'd probably be badly injured even if you didn't die. The captain saw this. His face turned extremely ugly. He only knew light weapons were useless against captain-level zombies, but he'd never seen one dodge an RPG at such close range. The 4 of them didn't give you any time to react at all. One of them transformed, turning into a half-human, half-wolf form. His body size grew rapidly. Then 2 other people had flames appear in their hands. The leaping flames looked like they could devour everything around them at any moment. Finally, the one who spoke earlier clenched his right hand in the air. In just a second, an ice knife appeared out of nowhere. Right at that moment, the werewolf's huge hand was like a sharp scythe, slashing straight towards your head. But you bent down, dodged the scythe-like sharp claw, and while dodging, you swung your right fist hard, slamming it right into the werewolf's stomach. The werewolf's vision went black immediately. Then his huge body went flying, crashing right through the door of a store. Whether he was alive or dead, no one had a clue. Strong, way too strong. You have to know, after old Liu turns into a werewolf, he has strength almost at captain level. His combat power is second only to the captains in the team. And after turning into a werewolf, he has extremely strong healing abilities. Now he was sent to life or death by a single blow from the opponent. The captain first let out a cold breath, then yelled anxiously, "The intel is wrong! Hurry, take old Liu and retreat first. I'll hold him off." But after the other team members heard this, they still hesitated. Seeing this, the captain's face grew even more serious. "Hurry up, you have to bring the news back. And this zombie's strength isn't captain level. To be precise, it's most likely overlord level. Even all of us together are no match for him." You also started sizing up the opponent seriously. Obviously, the one talking was the leader of this group. This guy is a lot stronger than the kid from yesterday. Plus, all these guys are awakened ones. No wonder they dare to move around outside. You hesitated for a split second, then decided to kill all of them. Although I was indeed human before, I'm a zombie now. No matter how friendly I am to humans, I can't guarantee they don't have bad intentions. Besides, they attacked me by surprise first. I'm not nice enough to get ambushed, and just let them off with a smile. Then you move in a flash, and dash straight toward one of the fire-wielding guys. Anyone who's played PvP games knows you clear the minions first in the early game. But the captain sees this, and roars immediately. His speed surges drastically. He charges at the back of your head fast with an ice blade in hand. The moment you grab the ice blade, the cold makes you feel your movements are restricted. Before you even React. Another flame ray shoots toward you. With a loud boom, you first swat the flame away with a backhand slap. Then throw a punch at the captain holding the ice blade. Though in an instant, the captain conjures another ice blade to block. The blade shatters right away at the same time. Everyone present is stunned. But the captain doesn't have time to yell at them. Stop standing there frozen. Run! This zombie is definitely a Lord Class 1. They listen this time. Another team member is already carrying the teammate who got knocked out of his powered state and turns to run immediately. It's all because the opponent is way too strong. They won't help anything if they stay. They'll just be dead weight instead. You pause for a second after hearing that. Captain Class and Lord Class. Is that how humans rank the power of awakened people? Interesting. But the captain doesn't last long at all. You grab his neck tightly. He's already at his last gasp right now. He looks extremely weak all over, though the surrounding zombies heard the noise and swarmed over. None of them dares to step forward for a meal. The captain chuckles. I know you can understand me, but don't get cocky. My teammates will avenge me. With a crisp crack, you don't bother listening to his nonsense and just snap his neck directly, then toss him into the horde of zombies casually. The 3 team members who have run several blocks away by now meet up with the female team member. Though this female member is also an awakened, she's a support type. Her perception ability and combat power are not strong. That's why she didn't join the zombie hunting operation. The moment she sees the few members, her face turns extremely anxious. Where's the captain? Why isn't he with you? That zombie is way too strong. The captain stayed back to cover us. I'm afraid. The captain is already. One of the members lowers his head as he speaks, looking quite ashamed. But before the few of them can even grieve, the female member suddenly looks ahead. Her face drops, as if she saw something that makes her despair. A huge figure blocks your path, and also the corpses of the human team that just ran away, and throws them in front of you. Though his roar is full of blatant provocation, you find that you seem to understand what he means. He wants to take you as his underling. You rub your chin and look up at him. In comparison, your under 1.8 meter frame is indeed much smaller. But before the other guy can react, you suddenly grab his calf, lift him up and slam him straight to the ground. At first, the tall zombie is full of rage and tries to fight back. But after struggling for a while, he realizes he's no match for you at all. Then his roar carries a tone of begging for mercy, roughly meaning he's willing to be your underling. Meanwhile, in Shelter I-13, 4 members of the 5-person team that attacked you earlier are dead. Only one comes back heavily injured and brings back important intel, and the one responsible for all this is your newly recruited underling. The tall zombie is very obedient. He ate one arm off the corpse along the way, though you don't want to eat humans. You don't stop other zombies from doing so. It's just a corpse after all. I'm no soft-hearted saint. Besides, these humans attacked viciously first. There's no need for me to bury their bodies for them. As a former human, you can understand their actions.
After all, if I were still human.
With the situation this bad right now, and zombies constantly evolving, I'd definitely capture them for research too. Now you finally deeply understand the saying, if he's not of our kind, his heart must be different. But am I really destined to stand against humans? When Lui Weii sees you come back at this moment, she finally lets out a sigh of relief. She didn't dare sleep last night, until you left. She only slept for a while earlier today. As a human, she also really wants to go to a human shelter, because she feels that surviving under the protection of a zombie always feels surreal to Lui Weii. You and the tall zombie arrive at the gym soon. You don't waste any words, walk straight up to him, and jump up to land a hard slap across his face. The tall zombie is left stunned by the slap. A warrior can be killed but not humiliated. I'm gonna fight you to the death. 5 minutes later, the tall zombie pinned to the ground roars, begging for mercy. Right after that comes the system notification ding. Combat training completed. Attribute point +1. You look at the tall zombie who's been beaten 5 times. He's lying on the ground, looking like he wants to merge with the floor forever. You just mutter total wimp and leave it at that. Then pick up a 100-kilo barbell to do bicep curls. Then set up another one to do chest flies. Every time you finish a set, your attribute points increase. Sure enough, getting stronger is addictive. Especially this kind, where you can see yourself getting stronger in real time. It's soon night again. You know full well, zombies go berserk at night. So you just tell him to stay in the gym. Then you head back to the 3rd floor of the supermarket alone. You write a note and toss it to Lui Weii. Lui Weii looks at the note in her hand, a little confused, but she doesn't ask any more questions. We're moving somewhere else tomorrow. All right, I'll do whatever Mr. Zombie says. Actually, the reason for moving is that meat supplies are running out faster than you expected. As your power grows, You need to eat more raw meat. Just then, a trembling voice comes from behind. No, you can't leave here. If we leave here, what will my baby drink? We don't have any formula. My baby is only 5 months old. The middle-aged woman has summoned all her courage, just to meet your pale eyes. But you just glance at her. Write another note and toss it to Lui Weii. When Lui Weii sees what's on the note, her mouth twitches, but she still reads it out loud. Mr. Zombie says you can stay here. It's safe here at least for a while. Actually, the note only had a few words on it. I never said I was taking you with me. The middle-aged woman gets upset after hearing that. No, if you're not here, who will keep us safe? You're even more speechless after hearing that. Are you kidding me, lady? Look at what kind of situation we're in. You really expect a zombie to protect you? If any other zombie showed up here, you'd have been eaten alive a long time ago. You ignore her and turn around to go downstairs. Seeing that the middle-aged woman wants to say more, Lui Weii runs over quickly and covers her mouth. This woman is totally out of her mind. Shut up already. Or if Mr. Zombie gets upset, he'll eat all of us. The middle-aged woman breaks free. Her eyes turn red. I just want my baby to live. She knows full well that raising a kid alone, it's impossible to survive in this apocalypse. Besides, how could she not tell that you never wanted to take her with you at all? But she doesn't care who protects her. As long as her baby can survive, nothing else matters. Maybe that's what maternal love is. Hearing these words, Lui Weii was quite moved. To be honest, Lui Weii really hated this woman in front of her at first. She was always bossy around her boyfriend and acted like she was superior to everyone else. But the baby is innocent. Lui Weii opened her mouth. She admitted that her heart had softened. She wanted to say yes, but could she really take good care of a baby? Mr. Zombie, would he allow her to bring a completely useless baby along? She didn't even understand why Mr. Zombie had taken her with him in the first place. Suddenly there was a loud crash. The shoe cabinet by the broken window was knocked over. A tall figure crawled in through the broken window. The zombie moved extremely fast. Its sharp claws quickly stabbed toward the middle-aged woman on the ground. She instinctively shielded the baby under her body. The sharp claw pierced through the young woman's back and protruded from her chest. It almost pierced the baby, too. Then the zombie slowly lifted the young woman's whole body up. The young woman was still alive, but her voice was very faint. She tried hard to lift her head and look at Lui Weii. Please, please! Just as the tall zombie was about to strike again, a figure moved even faster than it had and kicked the zombie flying. The look in the tall zombie's eyes as you stared at it was clearly different from how it was during the day. It was more chaotic and manic than before. Is this where that sense of danger came from? But you didn't intend to give it a chance to explain. You first slammed your fist into its head, then pinned it to the ground and pummeled it hard. Loud thudding sounds echoed. The whole building started shaking. It felt like the floor would be smashed through by you any second. Lui Weii watched you, beating the much larger zombie violently, and was absolutely horrified. Is Mr. Zombie actually this strong? No wonder Fan couldn't beat him. She suddenly realized something, and quickly bent down to pick up the still crying baby. As a woman, she had a soft heart. No matter how bad the young woman's attitude had been before, after pounding it for several minutes straight, you heard a familiar roar of begging for mercy. Roar, roar, roar! Boss, stop hitting me! I was wrong! You roared angrily. I'll kill you straight up if this happens again. The tall zombie trembled all over from fright and huddled up in an aggrieved manner. It knew it had invaded its boss's territory and offended him. This beating was well-deserved, but it didn't forget to take the young woman's body with it when it left. It knew its boss didn't like eating humans. Then you blocked up the window and moved several shelves over. You wanted to block it completely, just like the first floor. When you passed by Lui Weii, you glanced at the baby in her arms. Lui Weii was so scared that she thought Mr. Zombie liked eating tender meat and held the baby even tighter. But you just threw her a note and went downstairs. You can go to the second floor if you don't feel safe. After Lui Weii read the note, she thought it was safer to stay closer to Mr. Zombie, but as soon as she went downstairs, she saw another scene that almost made her brain short-circuit. Did she go downstairs the wrong way? Mr. Zombie was actually using the radio to play music. He was even working out. Are zombies this self-disciplined nowadays? The next day, you first packed all the remaining meat in the supermarket into your bag, then wrote another note to Lui Weii. We leave in an hour? If you don't want to come with me, you can stay here too. Honestly, getting along with humans really tests my patience. I'm really afraid I'll lose control one day and eat them alive. As for running into that lucky soul later, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. As for Lui Weii, after what happened yesterday, she did a rational analysis. Whether a situation like last night would happen again was something no one could guarantee. If Mr. Zombie leaves today, she might get eaten by nightfall. At least from the past few days of getting along. Mr. Zombie doesn't eat people. He's even a little gentle, actually. Lui Weii tried hard to convince herself. Right after you left the supermarket, you could see scattered zombies all around. But when they saw Lui Weii, a human, they didn't dare to charge at her. It was all because the aura coming off you made these ordinary zombies instinctively afraid. In their eyes, that woman was the food of that powerful zombie. No one dared to steal it. It was similar to the dynamic among wild beasts. The suppression of lower ranks by higher ranks. You soon arrived at the gym. Of the 6 muscular zombies inside, only 2 were left. But they felt even more oppressive than before. It was probably because the muscular zombies had devoured each other last night and had initially evolved intelligence. Right now, these 2 muscular zombies had been taken as underlings by the tall zombie. They glanced at Lui Weii with some desire, but didn't dare to act recklessly. That's their boss's boss. Sometime after you left the supermarket, a group of humans in different outfits arrived here. Among them was Lin Fan, who was most likely the chosen one of this world. He narrowly escaped death at your hands a few days ago, and was later rescued by his current team. He came here this time planning to bring this team of superpowered users to kill you, then rescue Lui Weii from you. But Lin Fan's face was dark right now. There was boundless hatred in his eyes. Weii isn't here now. Is it possible that she was already eaten by that zombie? Even though he had mentally prepared himself before coming. After confirming this, his hatred grew even stronger. All zombies deserve to die. Die, all zombies! A cold glint flashed in his hand. He turned into a blur and rushed into the supermarket. Everywhere he went, all zombies were instantly killed with a single slash. When the other team members tried to stop him, they were stopped by the captain. He's probably been holding it in for a long time. Let him vent. One of the male team members clicked his tongue in amazement. His ability is rage amplification, right? The stronger his emotions are, the more powerful he gets. Theoretically, the amplification can be infinite. Every time he exits this state, his strength increases by a certain amount, and there seems to be no side effects. On the other side, you arrived at the 24-hour gym you scouted out yesterday. One of the locker rooms in the gym was set as Lui Weii and the baby girl's room. After settling in the new stronghold, the sky was slowly getting dark. To prevent your underlings from going crazy at night, you worked out right next to Lui Wei's door. Unexpectedly, an emergency announcement came from the radio. Kyoto Settlement Number 3 was destroyed by special variant zombies. Attention all settlements and survivors. Never trust zombies. They are no longer mindless monsters. Those who are not of our kind are sure to have different intentions. The Kyoto research team has already developed a specific cultivation method for awakeners. We can use a specific method to actively absorb unknown shadow energy so as to strengthen our powers, but there are certain risks involved in the process. After hearing this news, you came to 2 conclusions. Commander-level zombies can communicate normally with humans. Even though your strength is comparable to a second-tier zombie, the system still indicates that you are only first tier. Second, humans can actively absorb unknown factors through a specific method to strengthen their powers. When Lui Weii heard this news, she looked at Mr. Zombie with a face full of confusion. Are they really untrustworthy? She started to have doubts. Suddenly, a roar came from the distance. You walked to the window and looked down. Whoa, it's underling number 1. There are more than a dozen zombies following behind. They all look bizarre and weird. It's obvious they are all evolved zombies. They are all classified as level 1 according to the rank system. You flip over and jump down. All the zombies turn to look at the figure landing on the ground. Every single one of them lowers its head. That's our boss for you. The boss pats the other zombie, then lets out a roar. Good job. Keep it up. Underling number 1 roars twice proudly. You're actually just saying that casually. These zombies aren't very strong. Whether they're useful is another story. Just take it as giving the underlings something to do. Besides, from the human broadcast just now, Tier 4 zombies were mentioned. Does that mean someone has already seen a Tier 4 one? Or have Tier 4 zombies already emerged before? The next day, while you're working out, your underlings are going on a total rampage. A group of special variants are sweeping through the streets in full force. Every zombie they run into gets beaten into submission. They're recruiting underlings surprisingly fast. In just half a day, they've already recruited 30 level 1 underlings. Ordinary zombies nearby see this formation and scramble to get out of the way as fast as they can. However, a 4-meter-tall burly zombie suddenly appears up ahead. He's followed by more than a dozen special variants blocking the road. On top of that, he's a late-stage level 2 zombie. You completely unaware of this, are still working out. Regular roadside cars are no longer enough for you now. You've switched to SUVs directly. Even so, the speed at which you gain stat points is still slowing down. You feel a little helpless. At this rate, it'll take you another 2 days to reach level 2. None of the zombies under you can take even one of your hits. Trying to raise your cheese is so hard when suddenly, you seem to hear a familiar roar. You turn around to look. It's those 2 buff zombies running towards you. They're roaring frantically for help as they run. Something's wrong with the underlings. You feel oddly happy hearing that. Does that mean the underlings ran into a zombie stronger than them? The answer is yes, and you just happen to need a decent punching bag. At this moment, on the other side, the burly zombie is like someone picking up a chick, clutching underling number 1's head. He wants to take number 1 as his underling, but number 1 refuses. Seeing this, the burly zombie swings his fist again. Just then, a figure rushes over at an unbelievable speed. A loud roar booms out. All the nearby zombies are immediately startled. How dare you hit my underling? Looking for death? Actually, that's just your excuse to start a fight. You don't have any real bond with your underlings anyway. You only took him in as a punching bag too. But in underling number 1's eyes, his boss is actually angry on his behalf. He feels extremely moved. Right now you crash violently into the burly zombie. It looks like an evenly matched fight, but a subtle gap in strength is already showing, because you only step back a little. While the burly zombie's right arm is already dented, he obviously took a hidden loss. This result makes him furious. At first, you trade blows back and forth. The fight is pretty evenly balanced, but the system keeps sending notifications that your stats are increasing. Ding! Combat training completed. +1 stat point. This is why the fight shifts from being evenly matched at first to a total one-sided beatdown. The burly zombie is having a harder and harder time keeping up. He suddenly bursts out with immense power. You think he's going to put up a desperate last fight, but turns out this guy has no sense of honor. He turns around and runs immediately. Without any hesitation at all, his other underlings also scatter and run in all directions. But you don't give chase. For one thing, you feel hungry after expending so much energy. For another, the warning from the morning broadcast is still on your mind. Without knowing if there's an ambush waiting, it's better to play it safe. After all, zombies' intelligence has obviously improved a lot recently. You then carry the heavily injured underling number 1 back to your base. You learn from underling number 1 that the burly zombie has a boss. Then that burly zombie's boss is most likely level 3. At this moment, in a shopping mall on the other side of town, the burly zombie is kneeling in front of another smaller zombie. The smaller zombie actually speaks in human language. You mean there's a really weird zombie showing up. That's why you lost. All right, I can't leave my master's side for now. You can take half of the level 2 zombies with you. Make it quick. He's very interested in the weird zombie that the burly zombie mentioned. But right now is a critical time for the Lord Zombie to advance his rank. We've put in so much effort and paid such a high price up to this point. Nothing can go wrong. All hidden dangers must be eliminated. Not long after, you sense that more than a dozen zombies of various shapes are coming this way. None of them seem weaker than underling number 1. They're all level 2. Sure enough, the burly zombie is leading more than a dozen level 2 zombies. His attitude has clearly changed. There's even a hint of arrogance in his tone. Submit or die. The 2 buff zombies behind you are already trembling all over, probably because the strength gap is way too obvious. Logically, you should lay low and avoid the fight for now, but your 3 main stats have all reached 99 right now. This might just be the perfect opportunity for a breakthrough. Before the burly zombie can make a move, you instead rush towards them at extreme speed. The burly zombie is confused seeing this. This guy sees how many of us there are, and he doesn't run. He attacks first instead. You first throw a roundhouse kick, slamming it into the face of the zombie at the front. That's the red zombie. He goes flying backwards with a whoosh. No time to think. You block a huge fist coming at you from another zombie with a backhand. The burly zombie watches this, his mind reeling. A flash of greed crosses his eyes. If I eat him, I'll definitely be able to rank up. Then, I'll be the same level as my boss. After a while, you start getting suppressed. But hearing the notifications from the system, even getting hit feels great. Lui Weii upstairs hears the commotion and pokes her head out to check what's going on. Lui Weii is so scared that her face goes pale. Oh no, oh no. If Mr. Zombie gets killed, even if the zombies don't find me, I'll starve to death here anyway. And right at this moment, you finally finish adding the last stat point to hit 100. You successfully advance to early stage level 2. You immediately feel the surging power inside your body. You feel at least 10 times stronger than before. You then sharply grab a zombie's head and slam your fist into it. The powerful impact sends the zombie flying right out of the fight. For a moment, all the other zombies freeze at the same time. The burly zombie's roar is laced with terror. How did this weird zombie get so strong so fast? That's impossible. The tide turns immediately after that. You, who were supposed to be getting beaten down, are now like a demon possessed. You take down one zombie every 2 or 3 moves. Those level 2 zombies' tough bodies are like paper in your hands. The road is even left full of craters from your immense strength. In less than 5 minutes, only the burly zombie is left on the field. His right leg is broken, and his huge body is lying in the ruins of a crushed shop. You stand on the burly zombie's chest, looking down at him. Submit or die. The burly zombie really can't understand how such a small body like yours can have such immense power. He admits that you, this weird zombie, are stronger than he expected, but you probably aren't even a match for his boss, let alone the Lord. So he doesn't choose to submit to you. You don't waste any time talking to him either. You turn your hand into a blade and plunge it straight into his head. His eyes widen sharply. Vitality is fading little by little. Lui Weii upstairs is utterly shocked beyond words, especially when she saw you kill a zombie that's several times bigger than you. For some reason, she actually has a little admiration for Mr. Zombie. After this battle, you feel you've gained a lot. First, your strength has broken through to a new level. Second, you've figured out your current power level. It's definitely way above tier 2. But you don't know if you've reached tier 3 yet, mostly because you've never seen a tier 3 zombie before. Suddenly, you feel the ground tremble slightly. It's very faint. This gives you a bad feeling in the pit of your stomach, though you can barely feel it here. It's extremely noticeable inside the big mall downtown. The short zombie stands firmly in place, completely unaffected by the trembling ground. It grins widely and laughs maniacally. Ha ha ha! My lord is about to succeed. City C will completely become our territory. No, the entire world will be ours. Meanwhile, not far away, a reconnaissance squad. A male team member spits out a mouthful of blood. I've sensed the owner of that roar. This immense power level is definitely above commander tier. It's very likely the legendary tier 4 zombie, and she's already found us. Run! The 3 of us only have tier 2 combat power, but reconnaissance squad members are extremely good at escaping, even when being chased by a tier 3 zombie. As long as it's not a speed type, we can get away. But the next second, all 3 fall to the ground at the same time. Their heads are already gone. The short zombie walks out of the shadows, licking the blood off its hand. My lord hasn't fully woken up yet. I can't let you ants ruin the plan. A while later, you notice, these past few days, there seem to be far fewer zombies on the street than before. Even that strong calling feeling you had at the beginning is gone now too. This makes you very confused. Just then, Lui Weii upstairs pokes her head out suddenly and shouts anxiously, "Mr. Zombie, the kid doesn't look good, she's dying." Hearing that, you leap up to the 2nd floor and look at the child in Lui Wei's arms, whose breath is getting weaker and weaker. It was just diarrhea, right? How did it get this bad that she's dying? Well, you're not the type to overflow with sympathy, but you have a hunch. The kid's condition has something to do with the tremors these days. Ever since that tremor, something in the air seems to have increased. But looking at the current situation, the kid probably won't make it through today. You have to turn her into a zombie on purpose. There's no medical treatment available right now, after all. Letting her get infected on purpose seems to be the only way out. Suddenly, you roar at Lui Weii. You try to speak subconsciously, but all that comes out is a roar, whether Lui Weii understands it or not. You reach down and yank off the fingernail of your left index finger. The grayish-black nail is covered with rotting debris, and you stuff it directly into the kid's mouth. You don't even know if this will work. It feels like a reaction from some deeper level of consciousness. Lui Weii is stunned when she sees this. Mr. Zombie, all right. There's no other way anyway. But could you not be so weird about it? That hand thing was so sudden and gross. Unexpectedly, the kid who was barely breathing just now actually starts sucking that gross-looking nail with her little mouth. Her heartbeat slowly gets stronger. But is it getting too strong? That thumping heartbeat sounds like it's about to burst out of her chest. Not just that, even her teeth are starting to grow at an unbelievable speed. Lui Wei's eyes widen immediately. That's not right. Why is she growing so fast? She knows that. People who turn into zombies go through some kind of change. She even saw an infected person with her own eyes before, but she had no idea that an infected kid would have accelerated growth. And these visible changes are really creepy. She's not the only one shocked, you are too. You suddenly reach out and lift the kid who's still changing, and point at the changing room, motioning for Lui Weii to go back inside first. As crunching sounds ring out, the kid keeps chewing on the nail, but her bite force is so weak It's not enough to break your nail. But the next second, the kid suddenly opens her cute big eyes, struggles and hugs your arm. She swallows, and opens her mouth in a cute, childish voice. You almost jump out of your skin in shock. Daddy, Daddy! You're even more stunned now. What the hell, is she a zombie or a human? How come she can talk? If she's a zombie, there's no way she's tier 3. If she's a human, it's only been half an hour, and she's already as big as a 7 or 8-year-old kid. That mouthful of sharp teeth doesn't look human either. The little girl's clothes are torn apart by her growing body. She's completely naked as she hugs your arm and says pitifully, "Baby is hungry." You point at the backpack by the changing room door and roar, meaning there's food over there. The little girl actually seems to understand. She jumps down to the ground, stumbling a little like she's not used to her body. She's just about to walk forward when she seems to remember something, turns back and grabs your pinky finger, looking like she doesn't want to be apart from you. Seeing this, you have no choice but to walk over with her. You even thoughtfully pick up a baby bottle and put it in her mouth. The little girl doesn't seem to resist at all. You're confused for a second. Zombies don't drink milk after all, so this should be good news. The kid is alive and well, and she's grown up. The bad news is she's growing way too fast. Lui Weii, who heard the commotion outside, can't hold back her curiosity, opens the door a crack and peeks outside. When she sees a 7 or 8-year-old girl drinking milk, her brain short-circuits for a moment. Where's the baby? She's way bigger. The little girl also seems to notice the person behind the door crack, pokes her little head over to look, and grins. Sis, you kind of want to complain. Shouldn't she be calling her mom? How come it's sis when it's Lui Weii? You, who just became a dad out of nowhere, think about it and get ready to climb out the window. After all, the kid is already this big. She can't stay naked forever. Clothes, toys, snacks, we need all of them. Anyway, everything is free for the taking now. No need to feel bad. The next second, the little girl zooms over, in a flash, and hugs your leg. Her eyes are full of tears. Daddy doesn't want me anymore. You look completely speechless when you hear that. Then you carry the little girl on your back and climb out the window together, leaving only Lui Weii standing there completely confused. Is this girl's speed a sign she's an awakened? You're even more confused now. When you brought Lui Weii here before, the surrounding zombies, even if they didn't dare move, always had longing in their eyes. But this time, they don't react at all when they see the little girl. A while later, you pick a random piece of clothing and put it on the little girl. Then you grab a few more sets and take her back to the base. But just as you're about to go back downstairs to train, the girl again moves at an incredible speed and hugs your leg. Wow, separate from you by 3 meters. And she automatically follows, huh? You have no choice. So you let her watch you train from the side. Anyway, those zombies don't seem like they'll hurt her. But the little girl doesn't seem to plan on staying quiet. Instead, she becomes a one-person cheer squad. She's yelling from the side, "Go, Daddy. Go, Daddy." Until noon, subordinate number 1 comes back with more than 10 special tier zombies. It looks at the little girl with curiosity in its eyes and pokes her head with its long, thin finger, as if checking if she's one of their kind. But the little girl isn't scared at all. She stares angrily at subordinate number 1. "Hey, you're not allowed to touch me." When subordinate number 1 hears that, it pulls its finger back a little fearfully. How can she talk? That's not right. This little girl doesn't look strong, though. But one thing's for sure. There's a familiar aura on this little girl. Her eyes went wide. She looked at the boss's kid who was still working out. Can we zombies even have kids? Her brain totally short-circuited from that thought. You didn't bother paying attention to the two of them, one big and one small. Then you directly told subordinate number 1 to lead the other zombies. Go get some snacks and toys back. Not long after, subordinate number 1 was on his way back with some items in hand, and arrived. It tossed the heavily injured zombie dog in its hand in front of the little girl. You could easily tell from subordinate number 1's expression. It was extremely proud of itself. It's true that zombie animals are really hard to find in the city. Those that are too weak end up as food for other zombies. And those that are strong are basically impossible to catch. This half-dead zombie dog in front of them was caught by subordinate number 1 after putting in a lot of effort. This zombie dog is even taller than the average large breed dog. Its mouth is full of sharp, pointy fangs. The second it opens its mouth, it gives people the false impression that it could bite through your neck at any time. But you just stood there with a face full of frustration. These kinds of things are for little kids to play with. You were just about to scold your subordinate when you saw the little girl happily tugging on the zombie dog's ear. The zombie dog roared and was about to bite her. There was a loud slapping sound. "Bad doggy, you don't listen." The little girl huffed and pulled her hand back. The zombie dog was stunned by the slap. Its jaw was even slightly crooked from the huge force of her slap. Looking at the little girl who was shorter than it, the zombie dog was even starting to doubt its entire existence as a dog. You also didn't expect this little girl to be this bold. But it doesn't matter anyway, as long as she likes it. Saves her from pestering you all the time. The little girl wasn't being polite at all either. She flipped over and climbed onto the zombie dog's back. Playing her little dog bullying game, a few days later you noticed there were fewer and fewer zombies on the streets. It gives people the false impression that the zombie crisis is almost over. What's more, the unknown particles in the air haven't decreased. They're actually slowly rising instead. Suddenly you seem to realize something. I can talk now. Isn't only level 3 zombies capable of speaking human language? Or maybe you can talk once your spirit power reaches a certain level. At this point, after a few days of friendly interaction with the little girl, the zombie dog has been completely tamed by the little girl. If it dares to bare its teeth, it gets a punch straight to the nose. It's clearly also a level 1 zombie dog. It has almost no power to resist in front of the girl at all. You patted her little head and said, "Since you're my daughter now, I need to give you a name too, right? How about Chen Xiaohan?" The little girl was super happy after hearing that. She quickly hugged your leg. "Yay, yay! I have a name now." "Thank you, Dad." Lui Weii upstairs was even more shocked in her heart. Mr. Zombie can talk now. It seems like only level 3 zombies have the ability to speak human language, right? But you were thinking to yourself whether I should send Lui Weii to a human settlement. With my current strength, even getting close to a human settlement won't be dangerous. As for that Lin fan with the crazy good luck, I already sent your girlfriend to a safe place. Let's just call it even on our previous grudges, okay? Right at this moment, a rumbling sound came from far away. There were also gunshots. Judging from how dense the sounds were, this couldn't have been made by a small team of a few people. Your expression turned serious. You picked up Chen Xiaohan and the others, leaped up to the roof of a residential building, and looked in the direction the sound was coming from. There was a huge crowd of people over there, at least 1,000 human survivors. All of them were wearing combat uniforms. There were dozens of modified armored vehicles among them. The armored vehicles were equipped with machine guns and cannon barrels. The humans were making way too much noise. After all, if you don't watch such a big show, you'll just feel itchy all over for no reason. Anyway, I'm just watching from far away. Maybe I'll even get to see a fight between level 3 beings. That's a good chance to assess my own strength, right? The location of the mall was occupied by a huge mountain of flesh, like a real mountain. Zombies kept condensing and forming out of the meat chunks. It can not only create level 2 zombies, but also level 3 zombies. You saw that opposite the human camp. There were no less than 1,000 zombies of all shapes and sizes standing there. Some were covered in pustules all over their bodies, looking like they could explode at any time. Some had hands that were basically big flesh blades. Some were very small in size, but moved extremely fast. The human side had sent out 5 level 3 powerhouses, but similarly, they were all held back by another 5 level 3 zombies. Right now, you finally managed to leave Chen Xiaohan, that little girl, with Lui Weii. This time it doesn't matter how much she cries. While the humans are fighting with the other zombies, you ran right up to this flesh mountain. To be honest, you also jumped in fright when you saw the flesh mountain for the first time. How the hell do you kill something this big? You could even say, level 3 attacks are just tickling it. But why does this flesh mountain in front of me look so delicious? This feeling is really weird. It's more like a craving coming from deep inside your heart. Suddenly, a lot of tentacles stretched out from the flesh arm and wrapped around your arm. You could faintly feel a pulling and sucking force from the tentacles. It wants to absorb me. Perfect, I also want to taste what you're like. Then you pulled away with a strong jerk. You used your hand as a blade and tore off a huge chunk of meat. Your eyes lit up after you took a bite. This meat is way better than rotten meat. What's more, the craving coming from inside your body got even stronger. Your attribute stats were also increasing along with it. But just when you wanted to keep eating, you suddenly felt a strong wind coming from behind you. Your whole body slammed straight into the flesh wall. You only saw black in front of your eyes for a moment. Then you saw a faint light. In front of you was a tunnel made entirely of flesh and blood. The tunnel was a full 10 meters wide. Did I actually get inside the flesh mountain? You looked deeper into the tunnel again. That familiar sense of calling made you zone out for a second. 7 or 8 meters away, the flesh wall split open a door-like opening. 3 zombies with powerful auras walked out from it. The leader was a humanoid zombie. On its left and right were a zombie cow with a twisted face, respectively, and a weird zombie creature with a dog head and a cat body. The zombie spoke to you in a cold tone. Strange zombie, my lord is a bit interested in you. Today you will become a part of my lord too. You muttered to yourself in your heart after hearing that. Damn, it can make level 3 zombies recognize it as their master. This flesh mountain looking thing. Can it actually be a level 4 zombie? The humanoid zombie suddenly darted forward in a flash. Its speed was extremely fast, far beyond what a level 2 zombie could compare to. That weirdly shaped fist of its. It seems like this was the guy that ambushed me outside just now. But your reaction speed was extremely fast. You dodged the fist that was carrying strong wind with it. You threw a punch right back into its chest. There was a loud bang. The humanoid zombie actually flew straight backwards. The zombie cow was slightly shocked. How is that possible? Your strength wasn't suppressed at all. You have to know this is inside their lord's body. There's an invasive force interfering with outsiders every second. Even level 3 beings who come here have to spare some energy to resist the invasion. Besides, level 2 zombies and level 3 zombies aren't on the same power level at all. After level 3 ability enhancement, their strength gets a qualitative leap, so level 3 zombies can almost crush level 2 ones completely. Actually, you did feel a power trying to purge you at first, but that power couldn't even break through your physical body, so you just didn't bother paying attention to it. At this time, the dog-head cat-body zombie seemed to understand something. No wonder my lord took a little interest in you. Suddenly you looked at the 3 zombies with a grin. Since your strength is suppressed, you guys seem like pretty good punching bags. The humanoid zombie stood up and glanced at the dent in its chest. Its tone was full of anger. I admit I was careless just now. But do you really think you can take all of us on? Let's attack together. Kill him right now, outside the Flesh Mountain. No one knows about the battle happening inside the Tier 4 zombie. The 5 commanders outside have been locked in a fierce fight with 5 Tier 3 zombies for a long time. They finally burned 3 of the Tier 3 zombies to ashes with fire. The remaining 2 zombies look at each other in confusion. They obviously didn't expect that human Tier 3 powerhouses have developed their abilities to such an extent. They turn around and run towards the Flesh Mountain. The commanders exchange glances and discuss briefly. They finally decide to enter it, to find a way to kill the Tier 4 zombie. Inside the Flesh Mountain, you glance at the 3 cherubies corpses. Some have their heads blown apart. Others are torn in half at the waist. You look down at your dented chest. You casually tear a chunk of meat off the flesh wall and stuff it into your mouth. A single Tier 3 zombie is even a little weaker than you. But with 3 of them teaming up, they still posed quite a threat to you. Luckily, you can get stronger during battles. Otherwise, it's hard to say who would have won. You keep walking forward for hundreds of meters. 3 familiar figures appear in front of you again. Respawn. You look at the 3 zombies in slight surprise. The humanoid zombie sneers. I admit you're very strong and very special. But that's all you are. We are immortal, and every time we die, our Lord grants us even greater power. I'll give you one more chance. Swear allegiance to my Lord. Offer up your body. My Lord is merciful, and he will grant you the power of immortality. But before the humanoid zombie can finish speaking, it only feels a blur in front of its eyes, and then it goes flying backward. So much damn nonsense. No idea where these zombies picked up this bad habit. Are they all addicted to showing off? Then the 4 of you zombies get locked in a fierce fight again. You can clearly feel that all of their powers have improved. The 3 zombies were full of confidence at the start of the fight, but they soon realize in shock that the Tier 2 zombie in front of them has gotten much stronger than when you first fought. The bull zombie lying on the ground, barely breathing, is filled with unwillingness. Did you hide your real power? You don't even bother to respond to it. You just stomp on the bull's head and crush it directly. But this time you don't hurry to leave. You start observing the corpses of the 3 zombies instead. Countless tentacles stretch out from the flesh wall and wrap around the corpses. Then the corpses vanish completely. 3 minutes later, 3 figures charge over, carrying a violent aura with them. Their powers have improved yet again. But I'm not some pushover either. Who can't get stronger from fighting, huh? Most importantly, this is an infinite self-service training spot with unlimited mobs to farm. How could I possibly let this go? But they are even more shocked after glancing at you. What the hell? How did he get stronger again? After another round of fierce fighting, the humanoid zombie's eyes are filled with shock right before it dies. There's no trace of the initial contempt left. My lord clearly gave us greater power. Why is your power growing faster than mine, you freak zombie? You look at them with an innocent face and reply, really? Maybe you guys are just too weak. As you speak, you rip one of the bull zombie's legs off. Then you start gnawing on it directly. Wait, why does this taste exactly the same as the Flesh Mountain? Are all these zombies made out of the meat from here? Then what the hell were those things earlier? The ingredients are attacking people now. Meanwhile, on the other side, 4 commanders, 3 men and 1 woman are leaning against each other resting. All 4 of them look ahead. Despair inevitably rises in their hearts. They just entered the inside of the Flesh Mountain. Not only did they find their powers suppressed, they were also attacked twice by zombies that can respawn. They originally tried to break through the flesh wall to escape, but found they couldn't break it no matter what they did. And only a few minutes later, those 2 zombies would appear again, and they get a little stronger every time they respawn. Right now, their superpowers are almost drained. At this rate, someone will die in the next attack. The one after that might wipe all of them out. Obviously, none of them expected that zombies have the ability to respawn here. Suddenly, Song Haoji, who wears black-rimmed glasses, looks at Zhang Hong next to him. He looks confused. Lao Zhang, did you hear someone humming a tune? Everyone turns to look behind them at the same time. It does seem like there's in the dark, a ragged zombie, walking towards them with both hands behind his head. The 4 people who had just rested for a while immediately enter combat mode. Tier 2 zombie. No, the aura it gives off is extremely dangerous. They are all Tier 3 powerhouses, so their perception of ability strength is very accurate. Even though they can all tell it's a Tier 2 zombie, that sense of danger is definitely not wrong. You first size up the 4 people, then you stop walking. From your previous encounters, humans have made it very clear to you how quick they are to attack. If they can solve the problem with force, they never waste time talking. Hey, I advise you not to attack. I'm just passing through. I won't hurt you. But if you do try to attack me, I won't hold back either. Song Haoji snorts coldly. It's just a Tier 2 zombie. Who gave you that much confidence? Let's finish off this zombie quickly, everyone. Otherwise, the other 2 Tier 3 ones will respawn again soon. Just then, a roar comes from not far away. You humiliated me over and over again. You're dead meat. The 3 zombies move extremely fast. They completely ignore the 4 human commanders, leap past them and charge straight at. The 4 commanders are totally stunned when they see this. What's going on? Are the zombies fighting among themselves? And also, is that Tier 2 zombie actually winning? Not long after, the zombies that attacked the 4 people earlier respawn again. They sound confused. What are you 3 doing? Kill the humans first. The humanoid zombie that was knocked to the ground roars loudly. Come help kill this Tier 2 zombie first. It has repeatedly blasphemed our lord. We are no match for it. The 2 newly arrived Tier 3 zombies only hesitate for a moment. Then they join the fight. The humans can be killed later. Anyone who blasphemes our lord must die. But you don't get angry, you laugh when you see this. 2 more, huh? Perfect. I was just thinking the sparring partners weren't strong enough. Now it's just right. While you allocate your attribute points, you lift your leg and kick one of them right in the head. The dual blade zombie doesn't have time to react at all. Its face is immediately knocked crooked. The other claw zombie takes the chance to launch a sneak attack. You grab its claw in one hand. With a crisp crack, you snap it right off. Hu Ziying's jaw drops so far you could fit an egg in her mouth. Because the hardness of that claw, even her sonic boom couldn't break it. And now a Tier 2 zombie just snapped it off easily. Where the hell did this monster come from? Finally, the first casualty appears. It's the zombie with a dog head and a cat body. Its head is kicked clean off. Because this guy kept staring at your kidneys the whole time. So of course you took it out first. Zhang Hong's eye twitches. Even though he still doesn't understand why the zombies are killing each other, it's not a bad thing for them at all. At least they can rest a little longer and recover their powers. But before they can be happy for long, another crisp crack sounds. Another headless bull zombie falls to the ground. Right after that, the rest of the zombies also fall down one after another. Then you casually tear a large chunk of meat off the flesh wall and stuff it into your mouth without any hesitation. All the wounds on your body also start healing at a speed visible to the naked eye. After eating several chunks of meat in a row, you turn to look at the 4 people. Do you still want to fight? Zhang Hong shakes his head helplessly when he hears this. He seems to have resigned himself to his fate. With such a powerful zombie in front of them, the 4 of them are all badly injured right now. Even if they were in peak condition, it would be hard to say who would win if they met it outside. Right after that, you push past a few people and head further inside. But the further you go, the weirder you feel. The blood-red glows are getting more and more eerie. If you hadn't gained stat points from several fights earlier, you'd have thought you walked into an illusion. So you tear a piece of flesh off the flesh wall and start devouring it like crazy. Piece after piece, you eat over 100 jin of meat in a row. You find you don't feel full at all. You're even hungrier instead. Suddenly, a soft murmur rings out. Let's merge into one. It sounds like someone is speaking right next to your ear, in a soft whisper, full of strong, bewitching power. You get even more confused for a moment. You can only pick up your pace. eating as you walk, without stopping for even a second. Soon you notice the surrounding light is getting dimmer and dimmer. It feels like you're walking straight into an abyss. The murmurs in your ears are also getting louder, constantly trying to bewitch you. Every time this happens, you give yourself a hard slap on the face to stay awake, but you still end up falling asleep in the end. When you wake up, you find your body seems to be tied up by something, wrapped up tightly. You try to struggle but can't muster any strength. You try hard to recall, I was running non-stop earlier. I blacked out while running. Wait, no, I think I ran into a zombie. Let's rewind to an hour ago. Core area of the Flesh Mountain. There's a space the size of a football field. In the center is a square blood pool as big as a swimming pool. A humanoid zombie sits cross-legged in the blood pool, but its whole body is covered in lumps of flesh. No skin, no facial features. At its tailbone, a tube as thick as a bowl mouth connects to the bottom of the blood pool. Countless flesh cocoons float above the blood pool. The faceless zombie speaks in a gloomy tone. These good-for-nothings can't even handle a tiny task. Looks like I have to do it myself. Soon it appears right in front of you. A powerful mental wave sweeps out. The moment you two see each other, there's no small talk at all. You only glance at it once, and your eyes go dim. It controls its tentacles to lift you up. Right after that, it finds 4 more humans and does the same to them. But after you struggle fruitlessly, you open your mouth and bite. After a short while, you've gnawed a huge chunk off the tentacle in front of you. The faceless zombie speaks to the 4 humans in a cold, arrogant tone, like a king addressing his subjects. Submit to me, and I will grant you immortality. The mental wave around it and its internal energy level are far stronger than a 3rd-tier zombie. The 4 lose the ability to resist the moment they meet it. They know full well, even at their peak, they would never stand a chance against it. Is this something a human can even fight against? Zhang Hong is surprisingly calm. Why do you need us to submit? Is there a limit to your power? He knows panicking won't help right now. Might as well before he dies.
Learn more information?
The faceless zombie is slightly annoyed, but still speaks patiently. I do need to enslave your souls, but I don't mind having a few more puppets either. I'll ask you one more time. Will you submit to me now? Uzi Ying chuckles. Who said we're gonna submit? Kill us or cut us to pieces. Just get on with it. If I so much as frown, I lose. The faceless zombie is obviously furious. Its mental wave even intensifies a little. Fine. Since you are not willing, then all of you will become mindless puppets. The next second, all 4 are wrapped by flesh tentacles. Their heads are covered into flesh cocoons. The hanging tentacles slowly lift them up. Right at this moment, a faint chewing sound reaches the faceless zombie's ears. It turns its head sharply towards a 2-meter-wide flesh cocoon. It's that weird 2nd-tier zombie. Just when you break free from the flesh cocoon, you accidentally take a sip of the red liquid. Your 3 stats actually all increase by 1 point at the same time. You didn't get any boost from eating all that meat earlier, but 1 sip of this red stuff works. What's more, this red liquid smells unbelievably good. You turn to look at the faceless zombie in the center of the blood pool. You feel like you're making eye contact, but the faceless zombie has no facial features, so you're not really sure. Hey man, good morning. You've got so much drink here. You don't mind if I have some, right? The faceless zombie looks you up and down in slight surprise. You actually managed to break free. I'm getting more and more interested in you. Join my mindless legion. I will not only grant you immortality, but also make you the legion commander. It thinks it's being more than generous. A mere 2nd-tier zombie. I'm giving it power second only to me, and the power of immortality. Such high regard and honor, how could that not be enough? But you have no intention of paying attention to it at all. You scoop up the red liquid and start chugging it like crazy. After all, no refusal means tacit consent, right? After a while, you feel something is off. You take a break from drinking to speak. Let me think about it first. I also think we zombies should stick together. You ramble on, but your hands don't stop for a second. At first, the faceless zombie thinks you're thinking of surrendering, but it sees you're not really showing any sign of that. Forget kneeling and submitting. You haven't even said a definite yes. All empty words. Gradually, the faceless zombie loses its patience. Your perfunctory attitude makes it really angry. Aunt, how dare you perfunctory me? You wave your hand when you hear that. No, I'm just a tiny 2nd-tier zombie. How dare I perfunctory you? You're a powerful 4th-tier zombie. You could kill hundreds of me easily. I just woke up, and I'm a little thirsty. The faceless zombie doesn't understand many human behaviors, like being perfunctory, but it can sense you have no intention of submitting. You are very much like a human. Stop what you're doing, or I won't mind killing you right now. But how can you let go of such a great tonic? Just this short while. It's equal to the gains from several hard fights. This feeling is so addictive. You just can't stop. Right at this moment, a powerful mental pressure slams into you. Your mind goes blank. You feel dizzy. The scene in front of you blurs for a second, and you fall into the blood pool, but you instinctively take a big gulp, and your mind clears up again. But this time you have no intention of stopping. You open your mouth and start sucking wildly. At the same time, outside the Flesh Mountain, the humans who fought all night still haven't taken it down. They not only suffered heavy losses fighting the Flesh Mountain in front of them, 4 of their commanders even entered the Flesh Mountain, and their life or death is unknown. Commander Zhao and the other commanders decide to launch the final plan the next morning. He thinks to himself, maybe I shouldn't have taken a chance at the very beginning and launched this plan directly. Then humans wouldn't have suffered such huge losses. On the other side, the little girl who still can't sleep at 2 a.m. has been fiddling with the rescued radio. Because the volume is too loud, it wakes up Lui Weii. But this lets her hear a very important message. The radio keeps repeating a message. See all survivors. Please head to shelter number 1 as soon as possible. See all survivors. Please head to shelter number 1 as soon as possible. This one sentence plays on loop. Lui Weii, who is very careful and observant, quickly realizes something is wrong. Ever since they learned that zombies have intelligence, humans would never broadcast important information on the radio. However, this time, to ensure the safety of survivors outside the gathering points, we gave a subtle heads up anyway. So those who understand the hint should evacuate. Those who don't can only blame their bad luck. I'm afraid the explosive yield this time is extremely large. When Lui Weii fully woke up, she grabbed the little girl and was about to walk outside. Xiaohan, hurry up. Come with me right now. But to her surprise, she couldn't pull the girl at all. The little girl stood rooted to the spot and said with a firm gaze, No, I'm not leaving. What if Dad comes back and can't find Han? Lui Weii lied in a calm tone. That's right, I'm taking you to find your dad. The little girl's eyes lit up at these words. Really? You're so nice, sister. She even took the initiative to pull Lui Weii outward instead. The two had just walked out of the gym entrance when they were stopped inside by underling number 1. Young master, where are you two heading? The little girl giggled after hearing this. I'm going to find my dad. Are you coming with us? If you are, bring my dog along. Underling number 1 nodded at these words and called over dozens of underlings hiding in the surrounding darkness. The zombie dog also wagged its tail and walked up to the little girl. Then Lui Weii led the group. A horde of zombies marched in a mighty formation, heading in the opposite direction of where you left. Meanwhile, inside the Flesh Mountain, the faceless zombie watched you dive headfirst into its blood pool. It spoke in a furious tone. How dare a puny worm touch my property? It burst forward with the speed of a master swordsman, so fast that its afterimage was visible. The next second, your right waist was pierced straight through. Although zombies have much lower pain perception than humans, you almost roared out in pain at that moment. You forcefully pulled the tentacle out of your body. Your muscles tensed up as you stared at it warily. Looks like you're not the high combat power type. You couldn't even kill me instantly, ignorant worm. Even if my ability is not combat focused, the power of a tier 4 is more than enough to crush you. Actually, the faceless zombie was also extremely shocked because that previous strike was aimed straight at your head. But at the critical moment, you moved half a body length forward. But just like it said, even if its ability is not combat focused, a tier 4 is still a tier 4. Even an offensive type tier 3 zombie wouldn't stand a chance against it. After getting this key information, you first glanced at the blood pool, then grinned. If you couldn't kill me instantly, you're gonna be in a world of hurt. A little while earlier, the tier 4 zombie felt humiliated beyond measure because after several consecutive attacks, it still couldn't take down a tier 2 zombie like you. For a moment, its tentacle attacks became even more frequent. It was like several machine guns firing at you at the same time. Although you were dodging in a really mess, even though you were dodging extremely awkwardly. But as your physique attribute kept increasing, the tentacles could no longer pierce through your body as easily as they did at the beginning. You know full well that with this bloodstone, you can completely rely on it to heal your wounds. So the most troublesome problem right now is not these tentacles. It's the opponent's mental attack. Because every time you get hit by it, it feels like your head is about to explode. Worse, this mental attack is intangible and formless. There's no way to defend against it at all. Right at this moment, another mental impact 10 times stronger than the previous ones slammed into your mind. This attack made you lose control of your body completely. The next moment, dozens, even hundreds of tentacles pierced through your body at the same time. More tentacles followed and wrapped around you. Just when you thought you were done for, The ground suddenly started shaking violently. 10 minutes earlier, outside the Flesh Mountain, Zhao Tianlong from the human forces was sitting on a truck. His gaze was deep and thoughtful. 4 armored vehicles escorted the truck from all sides. After driving a little over 8 kilometers, 2 armored vehicles stopped. The doors opened, and several 3-man teams ran out, carrying heavy cannons. They started firing at the dense horde of zombies ahead. According to the worst-case scenario planned before the operation, if they lost the battle, at least one commander would lead a team to deliver several pre-prepared high-yield missiles into the Flesh Mountain and detonate them manually. Because plenty of evidence now shows high-tier zombies have intelligence no lower than humans, and the safest method is manual detonation. It only takes a split second. Even a tier 4 zombie won't have time to react. No one has ever fought a tier 4 zombie before. No one knows how big an explosion is needed to kill it, nor do they know if it will regenerate like Gao Libo later. But the human side clearly has no other options left. Zhao Tianlong first summoned a 150-meter tall flame phantom. He swept his arms to clear the zombies ahead. Although this move was extremely powerful, the phantom only lasted less than 10 seconds before disappearing. But it was more than enough. Zhao Tianlong, who was supposed to have used up all his powers, ignored the siege of several tier 2 zombies, grabbed the front bumper of the truck and charged through the breach. A deafening boom rang out. The whole world shook violently. A terrifying explosion carrying endless flames and shockwaves spread out in all directions. The Flesh Mountain, which was originally the size of a shopping mall, crumbled apart inch by inch under the violent explosion. The massive zombie horde was also eliminated as per Commander Zhao's plan. At this moment, the faceless zombie inside the Flesh Mountain felt the explosion outside. It looked extremely pained. Its mental waves fluctuated wildly, and its tentacles thrashed about crazily. Damned insignificant worms. You inside also noticed in shock that the surrounding temperature had risen drastically. It was like being inside an oven. The temperature alone was enough to steam a person alive. Suddenly, a section of the flesh wall cracked like a spider web. Countless flames charged in with overwhelming force. The hanging flesh cocoons fell down from above one by one. Among them were the 4 humans who had just started transforming. Only their bodies already showed some zombie-like traits to varying degrees. All of them were on their last breath. You first picked up the 4 fallen humans and threw them next to the faceless zombie. After all, the area around that thing must be the safest. Then you started frantically drinking from the blood pool. Your attribute points also started increasing rapidly at the same time. You know full well that you have no way to resist this powerful, scorching flame. The only thing that can save you right now is the blood pool right in front of you. The faceless zombie, who noticed what you were doing, became even more furious, because this blood pool is the source of its power. If it weren't for that, it could have escaped this place immediately. But it was obviously at a disadvantage because it couldn't move. Plus, its ability is neither offensive nor defensive, which made resisting the explosion extremely difficult for it. So the faceless zombie had even less time to deal with you. It could only turn its tentacles into several huge shields, covering itself completely to protect every part of its body. Among the 4 humans, Song Haojie and Zhang Hong were out of luck. They were not within the protection range of the shields. Their bodies exposed to the flames were already completely charred. They had stopped breathing. The other 2 were lucky enough to be at the feet of the faceless zombie, so they were protected by the tentacle shields. They managed to save their lives for the time being. You, on the other hand, felt like your whole body was burning up. No, it was more like a fierce burning sensation. It felt like you would be burned to death any second. But by frantically absorbing the blood from the blood pool, your burned-off skin kept regenerating. Over and over again, you kept this up until the explosion was over. The city center was now in ruins. The surrounding temperature was unbelievably high. If an ordinary person were here, they would probably burn their entire lungs just by taking a breath. As the explosion died down, the seemingly unharmed, faceless zombie emerged. It glanced around and was filled with rage. The blood pool was gone. All its previous efforts had been completely destroyed. To recover its tier 4 strength, it would probably take an extremely long time. After all, it had advanced to tier 4 by sacrificing more than 10 tier 3 zombies and countless other lower tier zombies. Otherwise, alone with no underlings, it would only be the weakest tier 4 zombie. It touched its chest. Good, the thing is still there. It looked down at a charred body in the ruins. That weird zombie isn't dead. No way, an explosion that powerful. Even I, a tier 4 zombie, barely blocked it. How the hell did a tier 2 zombie pull that off? The charred skin on your body starts to peel off. Your wounds are healing at a visible speed. The new skin growing on you is no longer mottled. It's pale cyan, but all your hair got burned off. You suddenly sense something. You look up and lock eyes with the faceless zombie. Yo, you old bastard actually survived. The faceless zombie is slightly surprised, but its tone remains arrogant. Watch your mouth, Ant, or I won't mind killing you. You realize something and curl the corner of your mouth, wearing a slightly wicked grin. You leap right in front of the faceless zombie. You throw a hard punch. What the hell are you yapping about? You know perfectly well in your head. We're already sworn enemies. Why would I let you leave to recover your strength? This faceless zombie must be extremely weak right now. After all, most of its huge body was destroyed. As for the faceless zombie, the moment you charged at it, it launched a mental attack immediately. But its mental attack power has weakened a lot now. It can't do any real damage to you anymore. The next second, your punch, still full force, slams right into the faceless zombie's face. Its head jerks to the side. It looks completely disbelieving. The faceless zombie stumbles back more than 10 meters. It's just about to strike back, only to find your fist is already right in front of it. It can only throw a backhand punch at your waist. I am tier 4. Even if I'm heavily injured, I'm still not someone an ant like you can defeat. Although its ability isn't combat-oriented, it believes that a tier 4's physical strength is way beyond what a tier 3 can match, so it doesn't believe you came out of that explosion completely unharmed. It plans to trade blows with you. But what it doesn't know is, you just drank so much blood earlier. You won't feel hungry at all for a good while. If we're talking about stamina consumption, you're not scared at all. The two zombies trade blows back and forth, fighting fiercely against each other. The faceless zombie's condition is getting worse and worse. Its speed and strength are obviously dropping. Soon it's only as strong as a tier 3 zombie. Meanwhile, your strength and physical durability have already reached tier 3. You're even getting stronger the longer you fight. Every time you hear the attribute point allocation prompt in your head, you dump all the points into strength without even thinking. I don't believe I can't beat this pretentious asshole to death. Suddenly, a faint glimmer flashes on the faceless zombie's chest. That familiar calling sensation makes you pause for a second. The faceless zombie takes the chance to grab your neck, but then it feels a sharp pain in its arm. You've bitten down on the faceless zombie's forearm. Then you tear off a chunk of flesh violently and swallow it. So, this is the thing that's been luring me this whole time. The faceless zombie instinctively senses that something's wrong. It jumps back more than 10 meters in an instant. The moment it got bitten just now, it felt like some of its power was being taken away. It tries its best to calm down. It still refuses to acknowledge your strength. If we keep fighting like this, we'll both end up badly hurt. Humans will definitely come to check the situation soon. I suggest we call a truce. What do you say, hearing this? You nod. I think that's a pretty good suggestion, but I'm kind of a rebel, so I'm gonna turn it down. With that, you attack again. You can feel that the thing in its chest is very important to you. Besides, even if that wasn't the case, we're already sworn enemies. I'd definitely kick a guy when he's down. In less than half an hour, you tear another chunk of flesh off the faceless zombie. It stares at you in despair. How can an ant in its eyes be this strong? And it never seems to get tired at all. Zombies actually do get tired. It's just that ever since you turned into a zombie, you've never felt any negative sensations except hunger. But this only applies to you personally. That's why you always thought zombies don't get tired. The faceless zombie has been bitten so badly by you now. There's barely any intact flesh left on its body. It's hanging on by a thread. It's not like it didn't try to escape, but you're just too relentless in chasing it. It never gets more than 10 meters away before you catch it and drag it back to keep fighting. It regrets it now. It regrets not running away the first chance it got. Who would have thought a tier 2 zombie could be this freakishly strong? But it's too late for regrets now. After another round of brutal attacks from you, the proud tier 4 faceless zombie has turned into a headless zombie completely, dead as a doornail. You look at its chest, where the glimmer is still shining. It looks like a shard no bigger than a thumb, but it exudes a mysterious and powerful aura. The moment you instinctively reach out to touch it, the shard suddenly bursts out of the faceless zombie's chest, turns into a shadowy form and enters your mind. You don't even have time to react. You collapse to the ground with a thud. The flesh and blood of the faceless zombie seems to be melted by some kind of power, wrapping you up completely, forming a blood cocoon over 3 meters tall. At the same time, in the ruins outside, a human squad is treating 2 still-breathing companions and the blood cocoon not far away. They noticed it as soon as they got here, but they tried attacking it a few times and couldn't break it. So they decided to treat the 2 commanders first. If they can save these 2 commanders, that's definitely great news for humanity. But the 2 commanders are severely injured, and they're showing signs of turning into zombies. Their abilities can only keep them alive for the time being. Suddenly, a crisp cracking sound interrupts their argument. You break out of the blood cocoon, a tall, slim, cyan-skinned zombie, steps out of it. While you were inside the cocoon, it felt like you had a really long dream. But you can't remember what it was about. You just feel a little lonely, but you notice that your original attributes have changed completely. Not only have your attributes improved qualitatively, you've also gained many abilities from the shard. The vassal skill is probably an ability from the shard. The faceless zombie used this ability, combined with its own power to create a zombie army. The second skill is probably your original ability. You just haven't unlocked it yet. As for the flesh contract, that's probably what's going on with Chen Xiaohan. She's a human who gained some of your traits. At this time, on the human side, except for the healer, 7 Tier 2 Awakeners see you walk out. They immediately enter combat mode. Tier 2 zombie. Wait, the danger it exudes is no less than that of a Tier 3 zombie. You turn your head to look at these people. You wave your hand. You say as a friendly warning, I advise you not to fight. Take your commanders and leave. But to everyone there, your words come off as you looking down on them. We're all Tier 2 level. They've never been insulted like this before. Suddenly, a panicked shout comes from a distance. Captain, we have a problem. Dozens of high-tier zombies are heading this way fast. The moment underling number 1 sees you, more than 50 zombies under his command surround the Awakener squad. It knows this is its chance to prove its loyalty. Capture these tasty humans and give them to the boss. The boss will definitely be happy. But to its surprise, you say in a flat tone, let them go. Then you turn to look at the humans. Go back and tell your higher-ups. You can stay and survive in City Z if you want. But we stay out of each other's way. Just don't mess with me. You know, being nice won't work. Humans are extremely suspicious creatures, especially in times of crisis, so we'll just do our own thing from now on. The team leader frowned. He thanked them briefly before leading the rest of the team away, but no one could tell if his gratitude was sincere. There was no way to know for sure. Suddenly, you seemed to remember something. You grabbed little bro number 1 in one swift move. That explosion was so massive. How come all of you are unharmed? And where's the little girl? Hearing this, little bro number 1 trembled all over. Reporting to you, boss. When we were looking for you, she was taken away by humans. Actually, that night Lui Weii said she was taking Chen Xiaohan to find you. But she was actually heading away from the city center. But halfway there, they ran into a large group of evacuating human survivors. They thought Lui Weii and Chen Xiaohan had been captured by zombies. They dispatched several second-tier awakened ones and beat up all the zombies on sight. As for little bro number 1, he could only watch from the sidelines as Chen Xiaohan and Lui Weii were taken away by the human survivors. Then the missile exploded at around 6 o'clock. They waited far away the entire time. They didn't dare come in until the residual heat from the explosion cooled down. So you lost Xiaohan. You looked at the underling. Then you sighed. It's actually not a bad thing. Letting her live with humans is way better than following a zombie like me. But now that that chattery little girl is suddenly gone, I feel a strange sense of loss. Next, you decide to relocate your base. The wilderness is extremely dangerous for humans. But for you, it's a huge hunting ground. There are not only powerful animal zombies in the wilderness, the environment is also highly complex. So it's actually a pretty good spot. In the evening, your group of zombies arrived at the rolling mountains in a large procession. It's extremely peaceful, quiet, and beautiful here. If there weren't a group of zombies standing nearby, you'd even have the illusion that the apocalypse never happened. There are very few humanoid zombies this far out, but you can spot other animal zombies every now and then. Cats and dogs are pretty common. There are also insect zombies, but none of them are very powerful. You found a village not far away to use as your base. Then you started assigning tasks. From now on, number 1's job is to gather intel and guard the base. After what happened this time, you think it's necessary to learn some of the secrets out there? We can't just shut ourselves off from what's going on outside. Of course, the main priority is to see if we can find more fragments. A tiny piece of this stuff is worth ages of training on my own. It's absolutely a rare and precious treasure. Thinking of this, you tore a piece of flesh from your left arm and handed it to little bro number 1. Do a good job and you'll get plenty of benefits. Little bro number 1 was surprisingly sharp this time. He took it and swallowed it in one bite without hesitation. Immediately, the aura around him fluctuated violently. His originally tall stature shrank a little. He was only 2 meters tall now, but his gaunt appearance became more capable looking. He looked full of raw strength. His power level also went from mid-tier 2, straight to late tier 2. What's more, he could now speak. Little bro number 1 prostrated himself on the ground. This huge power boost made him extremely excited. At the same time, you gave him an official name, Sang Biao. After all, calling him number 1 all the time. Just number 1 doesn't feel right. It's easier to have a proper name. Not long after, you took in another Tier 3 hunchback zombie. You named him Jifeng. This guy is extremely fast. Originally, you planned to assign him the task of gathering intelligence. But this guy never does his assigned work all day. He spends all day expanding the territory. He thought the intel task you mentioned was secondary, that what you valued about him was his ability to seize territory. As a result, he kept expanding more and more aggressively. Until one day, Jifeng brought back useful intel for the first time. Humans have already popularized cultivation methods and have found the path to Tier 3. This caught you a little off guard. Humans are progressing way faster than I thought. After all, the incident with the Tier 4 hive didn't happen that long ago. Jifeng scratched his head. He said, "Boss, I ran into a pair of humans when I was seizing territory today. One of them has your aura on them, boss." Sang Biao was there too. Then that person found a private spot with no one around. Met Sang Biao and told him some stuff. I heard Sang Biao call her young mistress. She also said she'll come visit you when she has time. Hearing this, you immediately knew who it was. Who else could it be besides Chen Xiaohan? That little girl, who else? But your training movements paused for a second. That can't be right. How old is that little girl anyway? How is she already going on missions with a team? Are humans actually using child labor now? Jifeng shook his head. I have no idea. But she looked even taller than me. This caught you completely off guard. That little girl has grown up so fast. Forget it, forget it. We'll talk about it when I see her in person. I can't just barge into their settlement after all, even if I have no ill intentions. Humans will definitely think I'm there to invade. 9 times out of 10, a fight will break out. But your shaking head made Jifeng panic. He thought you were extremely disappointed in him. No wonder the boss never helped me improve my strength. My vision is too short-sighted. A 10-kilometer territory is nowhere near enough. The boss is so powerful. We should even take over the entire Z city. If we can't hold it, we can just have Sang Biao recruit more underlings, right? You've taken in 5 more dependents during this time. Zombies that become your dependents are absolutely loyal. On top of that, Sang Biao has also recruited over 300 new underlings, and he doesn't accept regular zombies. The lowest tier he takes is Tier 1. Soon, a female zombie walked up to you. She bowed respectfully. She was only about 1.5 meters tall. Slender build, light steps. Her aura was also very calm, even a little faint. If your perception wasn't so strong, you would barely have noticed her arrival. The female zombie's tone was full of admiration and flattery. Her eyes were fixed entirely on you. Master, I found the human organization you mentioned. Hearing this, you were stunned. Did I ever assign you to gather intel? I don't remember that at all. This female zombie is called Mei Ying. She's the master of disguise among your 3rd batch of dependents. After getting the flesh and blood contract, her abilities became even stronger than before, as long as she wants. Even Tier 3 powerhouses will have a hard time detecting her presence. Master, this organization is called Chaoyang. From their conversations, I learned that they have branches all over the country, and they're carrying out a plan recently. As for the details of the plan Mei Ying mentioned, she didn't find out. After all, Mei Ying is only at late Tier 2, even if her power is comparable to early Tier 3. But inside that organization, there is more than one Tier 3 powerhouse as well. Going deep rashly would be too dangerous. All we know roughly is that the organization is conducting some kind of experiment. If it succeeds, humans will gain extremely powerful abilities. It could very well change the current state of the apocalypse. Hearing this, you became interested in this organization. As expected, humans have way more information than I imagined. After Mei Ying got your approval, she slowly melted into the darkness with a satisfied look on her face. Suddenly, you seemed to detect something. Your movement stopped. Someone has entered the station. Your perception is extremely sharp now. Even if the other party is trying their best to conceal their aura, you still easily picked up on it. 5 people, 1 late Tier 3, 1 early Tier 3, 3 late Tier 2. That's a pretty impressive lineup. They could probably get away with almost anything in this apocalypse. At the same time, in the station waiting hall, the crew-cut young man looked at the Tier 2 team member next to him. How is it? Where's that Tier 3 zombie? A perceiver replied, that Tier 3 zombie's aura is gone. But there's a Tier 2 zombie on the platform. He was using his ability to scout when his expression suddenly changed. It seems to have spotted us. It disappeared from view. The young man's face lit up when he heard this. Teleportation, huh? Not bad at all, even though the Tier 3 zombie is gone. But if we can catch this rare variant, the reward will be even greater. The team member shook his head. I'm dead sure my perception didn't fail me. That wasn't teleportation. It's just that it's way too fast. even much faster than a tier 3 speed-type zombie. The second that zombie spotted me, it took off along the railroad tracks with a bag on its back. The buzz-cut young man exclaimed in shock. A tier 2 zombie is actually faster than a tier 3 speed type. If we can catch this zombie, it will be an enormous help to our research. Then he pointed at another team member beside him. Zombies usually have a territorial instinct. We'll wait here and ambush it when it comes back. Lin Fan, take one man with you and set up an ambush. Cut off its escape route when the time comes. Lin Fan nodded in agreement after hearing this. He's now a tier 3 early stage vice captain. His ability is Frenzy Boost. He can unleash tier 3 late stage power for a short period. He's the perfect candidate to cut off the zombie's escape route. Actually, ever since Lui Weii was confirmed dead, Lin Fan has become very quiet. He keeps killing zombies nonstop. He hones his skills through battles, especially after he left that 100-person team and joined this current organization. His strength has improved significantly after every battle. That's why people in the organization jokingly call him a maniac. He even successfully killed a tier 3 zombie 2 days ago. His rate of improvement shocked the entire organization. He has also entered the core layer of the organization, so he has access to a lot of secrets. You are a bit confused right now. Why are those humans going to the train station? I've wandered around the entire train station myself. Didn't find anything special there. They can't possibly be here to catch Jifeng, right? But with Jifeng's current strength, even if he can't win a fight, running away from those humans should be no problem at all. Time passed like this until afternoon. Tieta, who was guarding beside you, suddenly narrowed his eyes. Master, there's the scent of humans, and that scent is really strange. It's very similar to the scent on you, Master. You then started walking toward the village entrance. A young girl in her late teens was walking into the village. The girl looked around. That's weird, Sangbiao. He clearly said Dad is here. Did I come to the wrong village? The girl suddenly sensed something. She turned her head and made eye contact with you who were walking slowly over. Dad? The girl was so happy that she threw herself at you directly. You caught the girl feeling a bit confused. Why are you here? Even though she has changed a lot, her scent is definitely Chen Xiaohan's. It's only been a little over half a month. A swaddled baby has grown into a 16 or 17-year-old girl. If it weren't for the apocalypse, no one would believe it if you told them. Chen Xiaohan stuck out her tongue. Looking very playful, she replied, our team is on a mission nearby, looking for a rare material. So I snuck out to see you. You patted her little head. You didn't expect this little girl to already be at early tier 2. Looks like it's not just her appearance that's changed. But at the end of the day, she's less than a year old. Are the humans using child labor? No, that's toddler labor, more like. Chen Xiaohan kept telling you about their situation. The Research Institute found that many things have been infected by unknown factors and developed all kinds of special effects. We came to the suburbs this time to look for a type of ore. I heard it's used to forge weapons. I heard weapons forged from this ore can kill tier 3 zombies. You were a bit shocked when you heard this, but it makes sense when you think about it. Animals can be infected by unknown factors and turn into zombies. Humans awaken powers, so it's only natural that some materials get infected and undergo unknown changes. Maybe this is just the beginning. You chatted with Chen Xiaohan for a while longer, but the little girl did most of the talking about how life is in the settlement and how much she misses her dad. After chatting a bit more, if you hadn't reminded her, Chen Xiaohan would have forgotten to go back to her team. She was reluctant to leave and even wanted to stay by your side, but you still told her to go back to the humans. After all, you were not really her father. The little girl is just affected by the blood and flesh contract. I believe as time goes by, she will mature one day and understand the truth of the matter. Chen Xiaohan's eyes reddened slightly, but she held back her tears bravely. She sniffled, looking back every 3 steps as she walked. She didn't turn around to wave until she reached the village entrance. Dad, I'll come visit you again next time.
This scene
Looks just like a life and death separation scene in a TV show. After watching Chen Xiaohan leave, Mei Ying walked toward you quickly. Normally, Mei Ying likes to leave early and come back late, but right now, she was holding a strange ore and handed it to you. You reached out, took the fist-sized stone from her hand, sensed it carefully, and found that it was full of energy, very similar to the unknown factors in the air. Suddenly, you put a small piece of the ore into your mouth. Your eyes lit up immediately. The energy intensity of this ore is only equivalent to that of Tier 1 zombie meat, but it improves attributes as fast as Tier 2 zombie meat. It's like the difference between regular meat and protein powder. The former is healthy and fills you up. The latter is concentrated essence. Mei Ying then pointed toward the southeast direction. She doesn't know what this stone is used for. and doesn't need to know. As long as the master gives an order, she will bring back anything. After you heard this news, you arranged for Sang Biao and Jifeng to handle this as soon as possible. Although you don't know if humans can absorb this resource, this kind of good stuff must be in your own hands. On the other side, after Chen Xiaohan returned to the settlement, she ran home excitedly. She lives with Lui Weii. It's a small apartment with 2 bedrooms and 1 living room. Since Chen Xiaohan is a Tier 2 awakened, their living conditions are pretty good. Lui Weii also took the talent test. Unfortunately, she has no talent and can't become an awakened. Chen Xiaohan hopped to the kitchen door. She said animatedly, "Sis, I met Dad today." Lui Wei's movements froze when she heard this. Mr. Zombie. She really didn't know how to describe her feelings for you, Mr. Zombie. Everything started with a misunderstanding. Lin Fan might have died because of him, but she survived because of him. Her feelings are very complicated now, so she didn't respond to the chattering Chen Xiaohan. She chose to stay silent instead. A distance of more than 10 kilometers is nothing for zombies. Not long after, Sang Biao and the others arrived at the foot of a mountain. The humans in the distance saw them, immediately turned and ran for their lives. Jifeng's eyes were cold, staring at them. These despicable humans, don't they know this is near our territory? Just as Jifeng was about to chase after them, Mei Ying stopped him. "Don't say I didn't warn you. If you delay the master's business, you'll be sorry." They soon found the ore source. Many small pits had been dug into the mountain, only big enough for 1 person to crawl through, and not very deep. Obviously the work of those humans just now. Sang Biao started directing the group of zombies to continue digging along the pits. Jifeng took a group of zombies to find Long Qi. The zombie mining team officially started work. The humans who had run far looked back at this moment. Damn, those zombies just now are all rank level. And there's more than 1 Tier 3 zombie. How is that possible? You know, except for the Tier 3 zombies in the city center. It's very rare for Tier 3 zombies to act together. It's just like how a wolf pack can't have 2 alpha leaders, unless their leader is far more powerful than them. The zombie mining crew announced a shutdown on its 5th day of operation, because all the ore has been dug out. How the hell are we supposed to keep mining? The entire foot of the mountain is now full of dug-out holes. There's barely any intact land left. Right now, your yard has a pile of ore over 10 meters high like a small hill. Looking at the fruits of their labor, Sang Hyo nodded in satisfaction. "But you ordered to distribute all the ore to everyone." Sang Biao looked deeply moved when he heard that. "Boss, you're so kind." He has used this kind of ore before. Absorbing the energy inside it can rapidly increase one's power. Sure enough, following the right boss gets you all the good stuff. You could have kept all this to yourself, but you're rewarding your subordinates instead. At that moment, someone on the wall of Shelter 1 yelled angrily, "Damned zombies. They dared to launch a surprise attack on us. They didn't just take a lot of people. Even Captain Xiaohan was captured." Then someone spoke up suspiciously. "Something feels off to me. Aren't those zombies way too organized?" His words jolted everyone awake. The sudden zombie raid last night was really strange. There were 5 Tier 3 zombies in total, holding off our 3 commanders. Then a Tier 3 speed-type zombie led dozens of Tier 2 zombies, sneaked into the shelter, and abducted Captain Chen Xiaohan and the others right away. However, Phantom, who was nearby, heard the news. Her aura fluctuated slightly. "The young master has been captured. I have to go back and tell the master immediately." Right after that, a roar came from inside the shelter. "Damned zombies. You dare to come this close? Die!" The shout was so loud it made people's eardrums ache, even though it was only for a split second. Wu Juncheng sensed it. There was a zombie near the shelter. As someone with mid-tier 3 perception powers, for a zombie to get this close before he noticed was practically a direct provocation to him. The next second, 2 Tier 3 auras leapt over the city wall, charging straight towards where Phantom was. When Phantom saw this, she ran as fast as she could without looking back. Though she was strengthened by your flesh and blood contract, her actual combat power is barely at early Tier 3. She probably can't even beat Wu Juncheng in a one-on-one fight. If they catch up to her, she will definitely die. She has to deliver the message to the master no matter what. Huzian watched Phantom's retreating back and snorted coldly. You think you can run?" An invisible, formless sonic boom slammed hard into Phantom's back. Phantom stumbled forward uncontrollably, spitting out a mouthful of rotten blood. But she didn't dare slow down at all. Just then, you suddenly sensed a faint aura, slowly approaching the village. When you saw who it was, your expression changed drastically. A small, delicate figure was collapsed at the village entrance. Phantom's aura was already extremely weak, though she was boosted by your flesh and blood contract. She doesn't have your powerful self-healing ability, She's only more durable than regular zombies, that's all. If her injuries reach a certain severity, she will still end up on the brink of death. Not long ago, Phantom was chased by humans for 10 kilometers and took 5 or 6 of Huzian's sonic booms head on. She only pushed on because she had to bring the message back to you, risking her own life. That was how she managed to escape alive. Seeing this, you quickly tore off a piece of your own flesh and put it in her mouth. The second the flesh entered her mouth, her injuries started healing at a speed visible to the naked eye, watching her slowly open her eyes. You spoke with rage suppressed in your voice. What the hell happened here? Those damn bastards beat my top useful zombie this badly. Phantom was extremely moved seeing this. The master's angry because I got hurt. But she knew what was more important right now. She said weakly, "Master, the young master was abducted by other zombies." After hearing Phantom's report, you froze for a second. Xiaohan was captured, and she was taken by other zombies inside the human shelter. Phantom shook her head. She continued apologetically, "It's all my fault, I'm too incompetent. I only found out that a few humans were taken, nothing more." Hearing that, you also noticed something odd. To hold off 3 human commanders, break into the shelter to take people at the same time, and retreat completely unharmed. The other side must have at least 4 tier 3 zombies, and they have to cooperate perfectly to pull that off. Even though zombies are constantly evolving, gathering this many tier 3 zombies at the same time is no small feat, and getting zombies to cooperate that well. Unless there's a leader behind them that's far stronger than all of them. Besides, why didn't they just wipe out the human shelter entirely? They only took a few people. There's no need to make such a big move for that. Right after that, you roared at the sky, Jifeng. "Sangbiao, get over here." Your voice was like a thunderclap out of nowhere. The terrifying sound wave shook up all the surrounding dust. At this moment, Jifeng, who was hundreds of meters away, suddenly shuddered and vanished right in front of Sangbiao. Sangbiao froze for a second before he realized the boss was calling for him. You looked at Jifeng with a grave expression and said, "The young master was abducted. Take all the speed-type zombies with you. You must find the young master within 1 day. The other side has a large number of tier 3 zombies. Once you find them, come back and report to me first. Don't fight them recklessly." After that, you looked at Sangbiao, who had just rushed over. "Tell the rest of the zombies to go all out, absorbing the ore, and increase their power as much as possible. We have a tough fight coming up soon." The 2 zombies nodded and retreated together. But you were not relaxed at all. Ever since the battle in the city center, your power has increased by a huge margin. If you went back to that fight now, you could probably beat the faceless zombie to death with 1 hand. But if this opponent is a combat-type tier 4 zombie, I'm really not sure I can win. But since Chen Xiaohan calls me dad, I can't just stand by and do nothing. After all, I watched that little girl grow up. Suddenly, Phantom knelt down shakily. "I've shamed you, Master. I deserve to die for my mistake." She was terrified you would punish her, but also a little expectant at the same time. You waved your hand dismissively. "It's fine, go rest first." After arranging everything, you continued working out while shoving ore into your mouth. This went on until evening. Jifeng came back with a few tier 2 speed-type zombies. The tier 2 zombies were dragging half a zombie's body with them. Judging by the energy level, it was probably an early tier 3 zombie. Bai must have gotten in Jifeng's way when he was looking for the young master, so he killed it easily. Jifeng knelt on one knee and said, "Boss, we have found the young master's whereabouts. He's in the air raid shelter south of the city. That place seems to be a human stronghold." In the blink of an eye, Sangbiao and Tieta each led a large group of zombies over. A dense horde of zombies gathered in front of the village entrance. When you saw this scene, even you as a zombie were stunned. Did the number of my underlings increase again? Looks like there are over 600 zombies now, right? Indeed, this huge, massive zombie horde is way bigger than the few dozen you had at the beginning. Over 100 of them are tier 2, and they're not all human-shaped zombies either. There are also some animal zombies. You usually don't pay attention to what Sangbiao and Jifeng are up to. You had no idea these 2 were recruiting new members so fast. Damn, Sangbiao, you never disappoint. If this was before the apocalypse, you'd be a natural at human resources management. This is not only your first large-scale expedition, but we're also going to rescue the young master. Sangbiao was extremely excited about this, even though according to the available intel, the opponent has way more tier 3 zombies than we do. So what? As long as the boss is with us. All enemies are just weak and worthless pushovers. You tell Iron Tower to guard the base with 100 zombies. Then you give the order. Hundreds of zombies roar and immediately fall in line behind you. A whole army of zombies marches forward in full force, heads straight for the air raid shelter south of the city. Meanwhile, a squad of Awakened is heading back to their base. One of the team members can't help complaining, "We've been guarding this place for days. What if that zombie from the train station died out there?" The buzz-cut young man stays perfectly calm. Special variant zombies are more sensitive by nature. They're also way stronger than regular zombies of the same rank. A level 2 special variant out in the wild. Even if it runs into a level 3 zombie, it can hold its own. Besides, zombies never abandon their territory easily. Relax, it'll just take a little more time, we'll definitely catch it. If we catch that level 2 special variant, that's a huge merit for us. Lin Fan is the only one who's been quiet the whole trip. He can't shake this uneasy feeling in his gut. Suddenly, he elbows the team member next to him. "Old Wang, use your perception ability." The buzz-cut young man turns to look over at them. He's a bit confused, but he doesn't mean to scold anyone. Instead, he holds his breath and focuses, starts sensing the surrounding area. Most people in the organization know this. Lin Fan is a bit weirdly accurate about stuff. Every time he says something feels off, something always happens soon after. Everyone thought it was just coincidence at first. It makes sense once or twice, but this has happened way too many times. He doesn't even have a perception type ability, but his hunches are always spot on. And that's exactly why he barely talks. But everyone takes what he says seriously. The team member called Old Wang, suddenly his face pales drastically. His voice is shaking a little. "Oh no, there's a massive horde of zombies, heading straight for our stronghold. They'll turn the corner 200 meters from here and run right into us. There are too many of them, so I can't get a clear read, but there are at least 400 of them, and all of them are ranked zombies. The auras of the ones leading the horde are even more terrifying. I think they're all level 3. Everyone gasps in shock when they hear this. The buzz-cut young man's tone turns extremely serious. He yells, "Hurry! Hurry up! Get back to the stronghold and tell Professor Gu and the others to evacuate." You, who are leading the horde forward, suddenly make a soft sound of surprise. It felt like a human was spying on me just now, but the feeling vanished in a split second. They're probably from that human group called the Chaoyang organization, inside the air raid shelter south of the city. More than a dozen people in white lab coats are bustling around. Dozens of huge containers are lined up neatly. Inside these containers, zombies of all shapes are submerged in an unknown liquid. There are even a few obvious humans among them. These people in lab coats are just like emotionless machines. They keep adjusting equipment and taking notes non-stop. Before long, 2 more people carry in an unconscious little boy and drop him directly into one of the containers. The container quickly fills up with that unknown liquid. Less than 30 minutes later, the little boy ends up just like the last test subject. After he stops showing vital signs, he's thrown directly into a passage at the back. Right after that, the buzz-cut young man in combat uniform rushes inside in a hurry. He spots this sight immediately. "Professor Gu, something's wrong!" A huge horde of zombies is approaching. "Please evacuate with the other researchers first." Hearing this, the middle-aged man called Professor Gu frowns. His tone is clearly annoyed. "We have Z99 here and we still can't hold the stronghold." The buzz-cut young man speaks respectfully and answers carefully. That zombie horde is extremely large, and all of them are ranked. If we fight them head-on, I'm afraid we won't have enough people left to protect you. For the safety of you and the other researchers, it's better to evacuate first. Professor Gu snorts coldly when he hears this. "I'll leave 2 people behind to organize and destroy the documents. If we can't hold the stronghold, then proceed with the next step." He doesn't need to say anything more. The buzz-cut young man nods. Understood. He sees the researchers packing up to evacuate. Only then does the buzz-cut young man heave a sigh of relief and walk out of the lab. "Half of you escort Professor Gu and the others to evacuate. The rest of you come with me to hold off those zombies. If any zombie breaks into the stronghold, that means we've fallen." Detonate the underground bombs immediately. They have extremely strict discipline. Half of the team follows the buzz-cut young man rushing outside. The other half covers Professor Gu and the others as they leave. A short while later, more than 40 figures block the path of your zombie horde. The buzz-cut young man shouts to stop you. "Halt, whoever you are!" You speak in a calm tone when you hear this, and state what is obviously a fact. 3 level 3s, the rest are all level 2. You can't stop me, and that's exactly the truth. Just the number of ranked zombies under your command is already more than they can handle. Even though level 3 awakened are very powerful, if they get besieged by dozens of level 2 zombies at the same time, they still won't be able to hold on. Not to mention you have 2 level 3 zombies right behind you. One of them, Gale, is one of the strongest level 3s there is. He could probably take on all 3 of their level 3s at once for a good while, no problem. The buzz-cut young man looks obviously shocked at this. He never would have thought that the leader of this zombie horde is actually a level 2 zombie. Zombie Lord. The buzz-cut young man forces a smile and says, "Hello. Trying to be as polite as possible. We have no grudges against each other. Why are you attacking us with such a huge force?" You suddenly turn your head to look at the dark corner on the other side. You can sense 6 new auras. All of them are full of hostility towards you. Interesting. 6 level 3 zombies hiding in the dark. Is this what gives you the confidence to talk to me like that? You were confused before you came. Chen Xiaohan was taken by zombies. So why was she at the Chaoyang organization's stronghold? Now it makes sense. Humans really do have a way to control zombies. Just then, old Wang leans close to the buzz-cut young man and whispers something in his ear. The buzz-cut young man's eyes light up. His tone is no longer as polite as before. "Lord Zombie, your forces are only level 2 and 3, even if you're a special variant. So what? Leave now, or you'll never leave here alive." When Lin Fan, who's standing at the back, looks at you, his pupils suddenly shrink. Even though your skin color has changed now, your face is exactly the same. He recognizes you. Right after that, Lin Fan's aura surges violently. Veins pop out on his forehead. "You damn zombie! Give Wei Wei back to me." He turns into a black shadow and dashes forward. The buzz-cut young man doesn't even have time to stop him. One of the team members can't help twitching the corner of his eye. He just boosted his power straight to mid-level 3. Damn, he's acting like this guy killed his dad or something. When the buzz-cut young man sees this, almost loses his composure. At this point, there's no other choice. Attack, everyone. In an instant, more than 40 human figures charge towards the zombie army. At the same time, the 6 zombies hiding in the dark also launch an attack on you. The moment the 6 zombies dive down at you from above, you freeze for a second. Faceless zombie. But when you take a closer look, it's just a late-stage level 3 zombie. Its power is nothing compared to that level 4 faceless zombie you met before. Without another word, you leap forward immediately, dodge past 5 of the zombies, and charge straight at the faceless zombie. Facing your sudden, fierce attack, the faceless zombie retreats rapidly. Then it launches a mental attack straight at you, and controls the other zombies to besiege you at the same time, but you only feel a slight stinging pain in your head, like you just got bit by a mosquito. That mental attack isn't even as painful as the stimulation you felt when you were seriously injured. Of course, the faceless zombie, or maybe it's because your mental power has increased to 500 points. As for the other zombies swarming towards you, just like a marionette. Even though they work in perfect sync, they're way too stiff. They're not even worth a second glance. At the exit of the South City air raid shelter on the other side, more than 40 guards in combat uniforms escorted over 10 researchers, fleeing out of the air raid shelter. Unexpectedly, a series of roars suddenly came from behind. Everyone subconsciously turned to take a look. Over 100 zombies were charging madly this way from the rear. All of them are ranked zombies, human surrenderers. Captain No Kill saw this. Couldn't hold back and cursed out loud. Fucking hell, a horde of zombies plus special types. And there are 3 of them, no less. How the hell are we supposed to fight this? Right then, facing the attack of another 5 zombies, you throw a punch and straight up blow apart one of the zombies' torso. I knew it. The 4th rank faceless just advanced. It can only create early stage 3rd rank zombies at most. You're only a late stage 3rd rank. How the hell could you pull off the same thing? As he was talking, another zombie got smashed apart by you. Never mind pseudo 3rd rank. Even a normal early stage 3rd rank probably wouldn't last 3 moves against you. The faceless zombie felt a surge of fear seeing this. What kind of monster is this 2nd rank special type? All its stats are almost at 4th rank level, right? It quickly controlled the remaining 3 zombies to return. At the same time, it roared out Captain Xiao. This special type is way too strong. I can't hold him off anymore. Your eyes lit up when you heard that. Your core is actually human. You never expected the Chaoyang organization to pull such a trick. Actually turning humans into memory-retaining zombies that they can control at will. Then you casually swatted away 3 guards. Then grabbed its neck with one hand, said in a cold voice, "Hand over the person you captured last night." A human girl. The faceless zombie tried to break free, but found it was impossible. Your hand was like a pair of iron pliers. Its punches landed on you with 0 effect at all. It felt like it was just tickling you. It really couldn't figure it out. A horde of zombies came all this way, just to save a human girl. That excuse is way too ridiculous, right? The next second, a figure shot over like lightning, stabbed at your neck with a hand turned into a blade. A loud clanging sound rang out, the imagined scene of flesh and blood flying everywhere. And zombie head rolling on the ground didn't happen. Instead, that figure's fingers got twisted and broken. At the same time, the crew cut young man and the others who heard the cry for help. were also struggling to hold on, glanced out of the corner of their eye at you subduing the faceless zombie and blowing apart a zombie's head with an elbow strike. They couldn't help feeling a chill down their spine. What the hell is that monster? A second rank beating a late-stage third rank. And that's not even the worst part. The two of us are mid-stage third rank, and we're being held back by an early-stage third rank from their side. What the hell is going on here? Suddenly, a roar came from not far away. Lin Fan, who was trapped by Gale, had his aura surge again. For a moment, he went from being suppressed by Gale to being evenly matched, but he looked like a manic beast that had lost all reason. Only knew how to attack, completely abandoned defense. All this time, the people from the Chaoyang organization thought Lin Fan's ability had no side effects. Now it seems they just hadn't hit the trigger point for the side effects yet. Lose your mind. Gain stronger power. That's not a good thing in this situation. Lin Fan charged straight at Gale at this moment. His speed was comparable to speed-type users of the same rank, but a figure suddenly appeared out of nowhere, blocked in front of Gale, then threw a punch down, carrying immense boundless force, a loud booming sound. Everyone only saw Lin Fan's figure flying backwards, as fast as Lin Fan came charging in. That's how fast he flew out. He rolled dozens of times in a row, slid dozens of meters on the ground before finally stopping. You spoke calmly to everyone present. Listen up, humans! Those who surrender now will be spared. Facing the siege of a huge number of zombies, Captain Xiao roared angrily, "Zombies' words are not to be trusted. Everyone, fight with all you've got." But the next second, he saw his team members. One by one, they couldn't hold on anymore. Got swallowed up by the zombies. There even seemed to be sounds of biting and chewing. A figure charged over at a speed he couldn't react to, grabbed his head in one hand, slammed it into the ground with a loud boom. The ground cracked inch by inch. It's hard for zombies to completely suppress their instincts. Not to mention humans get injured during fights. The smell of blood keeps luring the zombies. It's only natural that the humans get torn apart and eaten by zombies. Then the faceless zombie Lin Fan and the two third-rank powerhouses were thrown together. You brought over a dozen second-rank zombies with you and entered the air raid shelter. You reached out and grabbed the iron gate. You could sense more than one life signature behind the door. Even if the faceless zombie didn't tell you anything, you had your own ways. The sturdy iron gate was forcefully bent open by you, making a sharp, piercing, screeching noise. As the iron gate opened, there were 5 unconscious humans inside, and Chen Xiaohan was lying at the very corner. You walked up to the little girl, picked her up gently, then told the zombies to bring the other 4 humans out. Suddenly, when you looked to the side, you seemed to sense some kind of movement. There was another iron gate deeper inside, and it was even thicker than the previous one. You smashed the thick iron gate open directly again. The first thing you saw were 4 rows of huge containers. The container in the middle was especially eye-catching. There seemed to be a human who just lost vital signs inside. You could also see some papers scattered along the way. There were 2 more humans in the corner burning documents. The firelight was more noticeable than the lights. It was their movement that caught your attention. The 2 of them didn't seem to care. Who had forced their way in? Their eyes were fixed tightly on the fire, speeding up the movements in their hands. Just as you were about to step forward, the ground started shaking violently. A wave of heat from underground followed right after. In just an instant, you and the 2 researchers, who were still burning papers, were all engulfed by the intense firelight of the explosion. Outside the air raid shelter, Sang Biao, who felt the ground shaking, turned pale with fright. He was just about to go check the situation. A pillar of fire shot up into the sky. The entire air raid shelter was blown to pieces. Countless rocks and soil shot up into the sky. Some zombies that were too close were directly burned to ash. Luckily, the bomb was detonated underground. Most of its power was absorbed by the ground. The flying rocks and soil fell from the sky. They could hardly kill the zombies on the street. Seeing this, Sang Biao quickly picked up Chen Xiaohan, who had just been rescued from inside, then turned around and shielded Chen Xiaohan under his body. Right after, he was engulfed by countless falling rocks and soil. At settlement number 1, Wu Juncheng came to the city wall and looked towards the west. An explosion of this magnitude. There's no way an ordinary team could cause this. Did another 4th-rank zombie appear? Hu Ziying also hurried over. His expression was extremely grave. I'll go check. You and Elder Chu, guard the settlement. With that, Hu Ziying moved so fast he created a sonic boom, leaping dozens of meters directly. On the other side, the huge explosion caused the entire air raid shelter to collapse. At the original location of the air raid shelter, a pit with a diameter of 100 meters appeared. A figure climbed out from the ruins. Fucking crazy. They don't even care about their own lives. This organization is pretty sinister. Luckily, now I have multiple attributes and resistance buffs. Otherwise, I'd be either dead or half crippled. Before the explosion, zombies like Red Ghost had already surrounded this group of humans. One of the third-rank captains gritted his teeth and lowered his voice, stared fixedly at the zombies that weren't in a hurry to attack. Gather all the documents you're carrying. Destroy them when you get the chance. Red Ghost stared fixedly ahead. There was a hint of contempt in his tone. Human surrenderers. We're not killing them only because they might be useful to the master. He would have killed them already. Someone let out a cold snort. How can we trust you? Asking humans to trust what zombies say is as ridiculous as someone telling you tigers don't eat meat. Right at that moment, the ground shook violently. All zombies zoned out for a split second. Someone immediately used their flame ability. All the documents and books that had been secretly gathered together were burned to a crisp together. Seeing this, Big Brother lunged forward immediately. His huge frame easily knocked aside several people blocking his way. He had no idea why the humans suddenly burned those things. But he knew doing the opposite of whatever humans do is always right. Maybe these things will be useful to the master if I bring them back. Seeing that Big Brother was about to grab the remaining unburned documents, a level 3 captain unleashed a sharp, menacing aura. Damned zombie! An invisible windblade sliced straight at Big Brother's neck right after. Big Brother snatched something out of the flames in one go. Then he turned around and threw a punch right where the windblade was coming from. There was a loud bang. The level 3 captain was sent flying backwards and crashed into a nearby building. His life or death was unknown. Big Brother barely avoided a fatal blow, but on his chest, there was still a deep gash that went all the way to the bone. His aura was completely chaotic as well. It was obvious he was seriously injured, but he was clutching something tightly in his hand. When Red Ghost came to his senses, he roared furiously, "Damned humans! Kill them all!" All the zombies roared in unison. The whole scene descended into chaos in an instant. Jifeng, who had just found this location not far away, saw Big Brother get ambushed right in front of his eyes. He left a trail of afterimages behind him and crashed straight into the crowd of humans. This battle ended in a complete victory for us. After returning to the village, you first told the zombies under your command to go about their own tasks. You didn't rush to see the captured humans. Instead, you sat at the entrance of your yard, lost in thought. You had always treated these zombies as tools, but after spending so much time with them, especially your few close subordinates, you wondered if you no longer saw them as mere tools. When you saw Big Brother's silly grinning face, you really felt a twinge of emotion. After all, your blood is still not cold. These zombies also have consciousness, and feelings too. Sometimes they're even more pure-hearted than humans. As their leader, had you been too selfish all this time? Maybe when zombies gain intelligence, they already count as a completely new intelligent species. On the other side, northeast of the southern city air raid shelter, two figures were traveling at top speed. Their speed was on par with a car. The noise of their rapid movement caught the attention of nearby zombies, but the zombies couldn't keep up with them. They could only roar in frustration. Up ahead, the man in combat gear turned around and asked with concern, "Professor Gu, do you need to take a break?" Professor Gu shook his head. "Captain Cao, don't worry about me. I'm a late-stage level 2 wind ability user after all. A little running like this won't wear me out." They had left the southern city air raid shelter one step ahead of the evacuation team. That evacuation team could be the main force that successfully evacuates, or they could be sacrificial pawns to cover Professor Gu's escape. This was all planned from the very beginning. At this moment, you started examining the half-burned notebook in your hand. "This thing is so weird." Someone went crazy after touching it. "Looks like I can't just touch random stuff from now on. I find I can sort of remember what it looks like, but I can't describe it in words at all." After reading this much, your brain was barely keeping up. The apocalypse was most likely caused by humans. Even though the two particle streams would have collided, in a few years anyway, humans still brought the apocalypse forward early. After finishing reading all this, you didn't feel a sudden sense of clarity at all. Instead, your head got even more muddled. How do I put this? The Chaoyang organization is even more mysterious than I thought. Why can't that object be described? Where did they come from? And why did I keep my memories after turning into a zombie? All of these questions, could they be related to the Chaoyang organization's experiments? Too many questions piqued your curiosity. Just then, Jifeng arrived with a group of zombies, escorting those humans over. Even the heavily injured faceless zombie and the level 3 captain, along with the other rescued people, were carried over too. Wait, are 2 people missing? They probably died. You didn't think much of it. Instead, you looked at the middle-aged men and women in front of you. There were 9 of them in total. The apocalypse was caused by your research project, wasn't it? Everyone was horrified. Cold sweat kept pouring down their backs instantly. The same woman who spoke earlier was the first to speak again. That's about right. Your tone was calm. You continued, don't be nervous. I don't kill people under normal circumstances. Next question. What is the purpose of your organization? This time they all spoke in unison, without the slightest hesitation. To save humanity. You looked skeptical. But you didn't press the issue further. You have the technology to turn humans into zombies, while retaining their memories, right? Was that level 4 zombie in the city center also you're doing? No one answered this time. This involved the top secrets of their research. The atmosphere turned awkward for a moment. But unexpectedly, Jifeng stabbed straight through the chest of the person next to him. The man's eyes widened in shock. He looked down in disbelief at the claw that had pierced through his chest. Jifeng said in a threatening tone, "If you can't answer my boss's questions, I'll kill one of you every time." Everyone was scared out of their wits instantly. They were trembling all over. But still, no one said a word. Actually, not answering is an answer in itself. You already had the answer in your heart. Maybe that level 4 faceless zombie is a failed experiment of the humans. How ridiculous. They were just claiming to save humanity a moment ago, yet the apocalypse was caused by them. This organization is so hypocritical. And it's obvious from these people's behavior. They have very powerful brainwashing methods. Suddenly, someone roared furiously, "Devil, you will all be wiped out sooner or later. I'll wait for you in hell." After he finished shouting, everyone, including the level 3 captain, had looks of terror in their eyes. There was a crisp cracking sound. It sounded like something was being bitten into pieces. In just a single breath, the life aura of these people plummeted until it completely disappeared. There was no time to stop them or save anyone. You cursed inwardly for being too careless. Then you dashed forward in a flash, ready to subdue the faceless zombie. But when you got close, you realized the faceless zombie had already died from mental exhaustion. The next morning, Chen Xiaohan snapped her eyes open. She jumped up from the bed and looked around warily. At this moment, she felt like she had had a very, very long dream. In the dream, she was still a swaddled baby and watched her mother die right in front of her. She couldn't do anything to stop it. Then she dreamed of her dad and that she had been captured by a level 3 zombie. The girl opened the door and walked down the stairs. She saw you doing one-handed handstand push-ups in the yard. You didn't look up. You kept exercising. You're awake? There's food on the table. Chen Xiaohan grabbed a ham sausage and started eating it right away. Dad, why am I here? I think I dreamed that I was captured by a level 3 zombie. You joked half-heartedly when you heard that. You were sleepwalking last night. You walked here on your own.
Who would have thought that such a childish lie?
Chen Xiaohan actually believed it. I knew it. How could zombies break into the human settlement to capture people? Turns out I was sleepwalking. But this dream felt really realistic. Dad, why is it that every time I see you, you're working out? It seems like for as long as I can remember, Dad rarely ever takes a break. Isn't he tired? His movements paused for a second after hearing that. Then he carried on. I guess I'm just used to it. At first, I enjoyed the feeling of getting stronger. Then it slowly became a habit. It's like working out. At first, you do it for a good body. Then it becomes a habit over time. That's why getting stronger can be addictive. After Chen Xiaohan ate and drank her fill, she was ready to say goodbye and head back to the settlement. But you stopped her. You told her to stay here instead. After all, if this kid can't explain things clearly when she gets back, then she'll probably be accused of colluding with zombies. The little girl finally gets to live with her dad, so she doesn't have that many worries. She turned around and ran off to play with the animal zombies. Those zombies are also willing to mess around with her. After all, she's the young master. You have to give her some face. Then you called Jifeng over and granted him the subordinate ability. Jifeng felt his entire zombie brain become much more active. And the boss's figure seemed even more imposing to him now. Like a god walking among mortals, there was a cold glint in your pale eyes. Your next mission with Sangbiao is to expand our territory. Whoever stands in your way, subdue them if you can. Kill them directly if you can't. After giving all the arrangements, you let out a long sigh. Before, I thought seizing territory was useless, but now things are different. The emergence of special ores and materials has definitely made territory valuable. I thought about it for a long time yesterday, and realized one thing. It's useless if only I'm strong. A single zombie's strength is limited. All of us getting stronger together is the right way to go. My subordinates get stronger. Our territory expands. We dig up more resources, which speeds up our growth even more. It forms a perfect cycle. Not long after Jifeng left, a pitch-black zombie appeared in front of you. He knelt on one knee right fist pressed against his left chest. The person who came was Shadow. Master, a bird flew over from the deep mountains. It says it wants to see you. You frowned upon hearing that. The letter you were preparing to write to Lui Weii also paused for a moment. If I remember correctly, Tieta mentioned intelligence about the wilderness before. Could it be related to that suspected Tier 4 zombie? Let it come in. Shadow complied and retreated. Not long after, a zombie bird with a wingspan of over 3 meters dropped from the sky and landed 10 meters in front of you. The accompanying gust of wind kicked up clouds of dust. The big bird folded its wings and stood up. It was still over a meter tall even then. Its aura was already at mid-tier 3. It looked arrogant. Greetings, Lord. I come on behalf of my master to invite you to join his ranks. You smiled faintly upon hearing that. What benefits do I get if I join you? The zombie bird spoke in an arrogant tone. A lowly tier 2. You have no right to negotiate terms. My master is already tier 4. Becoming his subordinate will be your greatest honor. The zombie bird obviously looked down on you, even if you are a tier 2 special species. Your max combat power is only tier 3 at best. You might not even be my match at mid to late tier 3. I don't get why. The master asked me to come invite you. You waved your hand dismissively. If there are no benefits, you can go back. Being the boss myself is comfy enough. Why would I be someone else's errand boy? On top of that, there are no benefits, and your attitude is garbage. The zombie bird was a little shocked. It even gave off an undisguised killing intent. Are you really going to defy my master's will? Don't get too cocky. Ever since my master advanced to tier 4, this is the first time a recruitment offer has been rejected. You lowered your head and stared right at it. Your voice gradually turned cold. Defy, Big Bird. Your master is only your master. Fine, very good. You dare to blaspheme my master? Die! The big bird roared. It spread its wings and slammed towards you with invisible sharp blades. But you just swatted casually, and one of the blades was deflected into the courtyard wall next to you. It exploded immediately, leaving a big hole in the wall. When the zombie bird saw this, its pupils constricted. How is that possible? That was my full power attack. He just swatted it away like it was nothing. What kind of monstrous physical strength is this? At this moment, a zombie bird that appeared out of nowhere spread its wings and attacked you, but it never expected that its full power attack was casually swatted away by you. This is tier 2. My ass, that's tier 2. Realizing something was wrong, the zombie bird flapped its wings to escape, but it was already too late. You grabbed the claw of the bird that was about to take off and yanked it down hard. With a loud thud, the zombie bird slammed into the ground, creating a big crater. You think you can act tough and run away? We're having barbecue for dinner tonight. We don't kill envoys. That's only if the envoy doesn't ask for death. Besides, sending a dumb rat like you to recruit me means they never had good intentions to begin with. Hearing that, the zombie bird hadn't even recovered from the shock yet. What? You can't kill me. My master won't let you get away with this. Before it could finish talking, you stomped on its neck and snapped it directly. Then you tossed it aside. So much nonsense. Shadow, come handle this. It's tonight's dinner. Shadow acknowledged the order, slung the big bird's corpse over his shoulder and left. He wasn't surprised at all by his master's choice, and he would never question whether offending a tier 4 zombie was a bad idea. Master must have his own reasons for doing this. Then you suddenly remembered something. Wait, didn't we run into that lucky bastard Lin Fan last night? He came back for revenge, right? No wonder that guy looked familiar last night. But to be fair, not only did this guy's strength rise to tier 3 in such a short time, he also managed to escape from me twice in a row. His luck is really insane. Looks like I need to remember his face better. If I run into him again, kill him if I can. On the other side, thousands of armed personnel were standing outside the walls of settlement number 1. Their aura was imposing. Each of them held a gun that emanated strong energy. Wu Juncheng's gaze was extremely determined. All personnel, inspect your weapons and equipment. Then set off to clear out the zombies as planned. He was the main person in charge of this cleanup operation. Even though you were their primary cleanup target this time, they didn't go west to pick a fight with you first. Instead, they split into 3 teams. In the northeast and south routes within 10 kilometers. Once the 3 sides are almost cleared, the 3 teams will merge into 1 and push straight towards the west. Little did they know, Sang Biao and Jifeng are acting very differently from the humans. They are being way more aggressive. They are expanding outwards in all directions. The original territory that was 10 kilometers in radius has expanded to 15 kilometers in radius in just over a day. They also subdued 3 tier 3 zombies during this period. And you really have no other choice. even though you can feel your power still growing steadily. But your rank is still Tier 2. Later on, you've already read the human cultivation methods for Tier 1 and Tier 2. But the Tier 3 cultivation method is a top-secret mantra of human martial arts. No matter how much intelligence you gather, you can't get any useful information at all. Day 42 after the apocalypse. Your territory has expanded to cover 1/6 of the entire city Z. The number of your subordinates has even surpassed $1,000. Ores of all kinds outside the courtyard have piled up like a mountain. Suddenly, a dark shadow appeared. Master, human armed forces are approaching our territory. Their weapons can pose a threat to early Tier 3 existences. Should we ask Sang Biao and the others to retreat temporarily? You thought for a few seconds after hearing this. You looked at the shadow and said no. We'll run into them sooner or later anyway. I'd better go there myself. After all, humans' new weapons are really a hassle right now. If the two sides really clash, I guess except for the Tier 3 ones, all the other zombies will die there. Right now, Wu Juncheng looked up at the roof of a large truck ahead. His expression changed slightly. Mid-Tier 3. Lightning's roar came over. Humans, stop right there. Ahead is my master's territory. Turn back now. We'll leave each other alone. If you take one more step forward, we'll go to war. Wu Juncheng sneered. Leave each other alone. Do you really think there's still a chance for us to coexist peacefully? The armed personnel behind him were all travel-worn, but all of them were full of fighting spirit. Because they've won every battle these past few days, their morale has long reached an incredible level. Lightning's tone carried disdain when he heard this. I didn't say anything about peaceful coexistence, but drawing a clear line with you is my master's order. This is also mercy for you. It's not a request. Everyone got furious immediately after hearing that. Hu Ziying, who had a short fuse, even cursed directly, "Fuck your mercy. If you want to fight, you'll get it." Seeing this, Lightning had veins popping out on his forehead. He was about to lose control any second. Humans, watch your mouth, or I won't mind right now. Tear her apart, you humans! A middle-aged man over there curled the corners of his mouth slightly. Hu Tongli said, I think when they say drawing a clear line, they're actually afraid of our power. In my opinion, we follow the old rules. First, carry out a round of fire suppression. Then the vanguard squad will join us to besiege them. Han Wanyuan, who was standing nearby, showed a weird smile after hearing this. After all, he had just been promoted to Tier 3, and had just obtained the position of commander. He was in high spirits right now. He had even successfully besieged and killed a mid-Tier 3 zombie before. In his view, the two Tier 3 zombies opposite are nothing to worry about. As for the master they mentioned, it's nothing more than a special variant. No matter how strong it is, it's at most unbeatable at Tier 3. If it's not Tier 4, the human side is confident they can take it down. What we need to do now, before they gather their forces, we take down this group of zombies first. Before the full-scale war breaks out, we can weaken them as much as possible. Seeing this, Wu Juncheng also seemed to understand what they meant. He carefully activated his ability. And this wasn't predicting the future. It was an intuition from somewhere deep inside. He sensed that this battle would be more scare than harm. Maybe he really overestimated the strength of that zombie. That's right, it's just a Tier 2 special variant. It just has a few more subordinates. That's why it took down a small outpost of the Chaoyang organization. The next second, the human side's personnel holding the newly issued firearms quickly lined up in perfect order. The first row knelt and raised their guns. The second row stood and raised their guns. Hundreds of dark gun barrels pointed forward. But before the commander finished shouting, suddenly a figure fell from the sky, right between Sang Biao and the humans. The ground was smashed into a crater directly. The surrounding road surface also cracked inch by inch. Wu Juncheng and Hu Ziying's pupils constricted sharply. Their muscles tensed up subconsciously. It's him! The armed personnel saw this scene. All of them felt a little scared in their hearts. What kind of zombie has such a freakishly strong body? That height was dozens of meters just now. As a result, when he landed, his knees didn't even bend at all. Seeing this, Han Wanyuan was very disdainful. Tier 2 special variant. It just has a stronger body. Perfect timing. Let's take you down first. Open fire. At his order, all the gunmen pulled the trigger at the same time. Rat-tat-tat. Countless bullets poured out. They hit you like raindrops in an instant. But the scene of flesh and blood flying everywhere that everyone imagined didn't happen. You were even slowly moving forward against the fire. It seemed that such a heavy burst of fire couldn't affect you in the slightest. All the bullets that hit you were bounced off. That new type of ammunition they were so proud of couldn't even break through your defense. Immediately after, 3 rockets were launched at the same time. They rushed straight at you from different directions. However, You moved at an incredibly fast speed and directly grabbed two of them, lifted your leg and kicked the third one. The moment the rockets exploded, they raised billows of smoke and dust. Han Wanyuan's face lit up with joy. Ha ha ha! He actually dared to catch them with his bare hands. That's absolutely ridiculous. But the next second, his smile froze. A figure walked out of the explosion. Except for your damaged clothes. You didn't seem to be injured at all. Just then, the 2 rows of gunmen had also emptied their magazines. They were now reloading. But judging from their shaking movements, they were obviously panicking, because this was the first time they had encountered, under heavy fire coverage, a zombie that came out completely unscathed. You continued to move forward. You said in a flat tone, "This force is just right for a massage, but your behavior is really not very polite. Luckily, I have a strong physique. If it were another mid-tier 3 strength type, standing here would have been seriously injured. Humans haven't changed at all. As soon as they think they have a chance against zombies, they always attack first, even if they exchange a few words. They're just stalling for time." To prepare for the attack, seeing that you were still moving forward, Wu Juncheng stepped forward. "Everyone, don't waste any more ammunition. The opponent is at least late tier 3. In terms of strength, all members of the Vanguard squad. Come with me to besiege and kill him." As soon as he finished speaking, Hu Xiying already let out a sonic boom under her feet. She rushed to you in the blink of an eye. There were bursts of sonic booms around her right fist. She threw a fierce punch at you. Wu Juncheng took out a black dagger from his pocket. This is a cold weapon forged from special materials, exclusively for commanders. Humans have only forged 2 of them so far. They are with him and Han Wanyuan respectively. After all, Wu Juncheng is a genuine mid-tier 3. His speed is also quite fast. He charged at you from the side the same time Hu Xiying made her move. Unexpectedly, you grabbed Hu Xiying's fist with your backhand. The powerful sonic boom was enough to blow up the head of an early tier 3 zombie. Such overwhelming power, but when it hit you, it only blew your hair and tattered clothes. Then you took a step to the side. You skillfully dodged the dagger stabbed by the latter. Crack. In Wu Juncheng's disbelieving eyes, you easily snapped his wrist. The black dagger fell to the ground with a clatter. Seeing this, Hu Xiying was filled with rage. She clenched her other fist and smashed it at your head. But the next second, she felt like she'd been hit by a truck in the lower abdomen. She doubled over involuntarily, then was sent flying violently backwards. She rolled across the ground repeatedly after landing. Several people who tried to catch her were also knocked flying. The observers finally snapped back to their senses. They yelled, "Everyone except the Blade Squad retreat 100 meters. Watch out for sneak attacks from other zombies." Hundreds of level 2 awakened took positions based on their abilities. Among them, Earth-type awakened cooperated with Han Wanyuan. Chains made of condensed earth and rock wrapped towards you, trying to seal off your mobility. Then all kinds of powers rained down on you. Wu Xiying spat out a mouthful of red liquid, struggled to get to her feet, stared at where you were standing, which was still being bombarded by all sorts of powers. Did we finally succeed? Wu Juncheng tried to activate his power, but the energy fluctuations over there were way too intense. Other than a huge mass of energy, he couldn't sense anything at all. No idea. But even a late-stage level 3 can't survive this kind of crazy bombardment, right? Right now, the ground within a 10-meter radius, centered on your position, collapsed instantly. And this level of attack lasted for 3 whole minutes. I'm sure anyone below level 4, no human or zombie could survive this. Han Wanyuan was sweating on his forehead, stood with his hands behind his back. "Ha ha ha, so what about a special species? That's all you've got." At this moment, you were taking the full brunt of everyone's concentrated attacks. Han Wanyuan was sweating on his forehead, stood with his hands behind his back. "Ha ha ha, so what about a special species? That's all you've got." Right after that, a faint sound spread. The crowd who had just breathed a sigh of relief tensed up instantly. A figure walked out of the crater left by the bombardment. Even his short hair was still intact. You looked like you were eating something. Han Wanyuan's pupils constricted violently. He took half a step back subconsciously. How is this possible? Even a late-stage level 3 physical enhancement type can't survive this, right? Why is he completely unharmed? Hu Xiying gritted her teeth hard. She recalled the first time she met you again. Back then, you didn't have such a devastating sense of oppression. You were clearly only level 2. How did he get this strong? You flashed right in front of Han Wanyuan all of a sudden. A crisp cracking sound rang out. You kicked him hard on the side of the knee, bending his leg completely out of shape on the spot. A shrill scream broke out. Han Wanyuan lost his balance and fell to the ground. He stared at his mangled leg and kept screaming in agony. His energy was so messed up he couldn't even use his powers for a moment. Wu Juncheng was covered in sweat at this point. He finally understood why a mere level 2 could gather so many leveled zombies, why the Rising Sun organization's stronghold was completely destroyed by him. It all comes down to strength. Everyone had underestimated this weird zombie. Hu Jing's face was full of unwillingness. Damn it, is humanity's fate really doomed to end here? Last time the level 4 zombie couldn't move, we could kill it with a large yield missile. But what about this time? Will he just stand there and let us bomb him? Seeing that Han Wanyuan was dead, many members of the Blade Squad charged over to attack you, but before they could even get close to you, they were sent flying backwards like dead dogs. Until 30 to 40 of them were dead, the remaining awakened finally froze and stopped in their tracks, not daring to step forward again. You stopped what you were doing, glanced at the crowd. It's really such a hassle trying to communicate with you people. Can we have a proper talk now? Sure enough, as a zombie, it's extremely hard to negotiate and communicate with humans. I have to beat them up first to get their attention. Wu Junqing's mouth twitched. Talk. Is there even room for negotiation between us? Leaving aside that this special species is probably the culprit behind the settlement invasion. Even if he isn't, we've already fought this hard. Would he actually be willing to talk? Humans' goal is to wipe out all zombies. Zombies want to eat humans. As long as this irreconcilable conflict exists, we are destined to be enemies. If either side talks about peaceful coexistence, it just sounds naive and ridiculous. Wu Junqing forced himself to add, if you plan to keep humans as livestock, there's no need to talk. We are not afraid of death. But before we all die, we will tear a chunk off of you. Of course, keeping humans in captivity isn't unheard of. For example, the stronghold leaders in the neighboring city were killed. The upper management, to keep it a secret, agreed to send people to the zombies on a regular basis, and the zombies would in turn protect the settlement. You shook your head when you heard this. I don't like eating humans. I only want one thing, and that's your human level 3 cultivation method. If you are willing to give me a copy, I will let you all go. I'll even take this place as the boundary. The entire northeast part of City Z will be fully under your control from now on. I won't expand towards that direction anymore. You didn't say this out of the blue. You had thought it through carefully. There aren't many resources left in the city anyway, and you were planning to focus your efforts on the south next. The deep mountains. After all, the big bird you killed last time has a level 4 boss, who lives in the deep mountains to the south. You have to confront him sooner or later. Wu Junqing asked 3 questions in a row in shock. Cultivation method. Don't you zombies just evolve by devouring? Why would you need this? You kicked the still wailing Han Wanyuan aside with your foot. Your tone gradually became impatient. Just say I'm curious. I can forgive your rude behavior, but I only give you 1 minute to think about it. If you refuse, we'll keep fighting. Wu Junqing frowned. His tone was full of hesitation and distrust. How can we trust you? What if after you get what you want? But before he could finish speaking, you cut him off directly. Are you misunderstanding something? This is not a negotiation. You have no choice. A sense of despair and helplessness washed over everyone instantly. They clenched their fists tightly. They wanted to say they'd rather fight to the death, but they had all seen your terrifying power. When the power gap is this huge, even the courage to fight to the death seems ridiculous. Fine. I hope you will keep your promise. Wu Junqing gritted his teeth. He looked at a late-stage level 2 awakened next to him. The latter was hesitating. Wu Junqing had a serious expression on his face, but he understood why. I will take responsibility for anything that happens, because he trusted the ability he sensed at the very beginning. If he guessed right, this was the close call everyone had. After all, no one died so far. Only Han Wanyuan was injured, after you took the small notebook. You weren't worried that they would trick you. Then you waved your hand casually. You can go back now. This will be the boundary between our territories from now on. With that, you turned around and left. The crowd was dumbfounded when they saw this. It's over just like that. They thought you would massacre everyone after you got the notebook, or make even more excessive demands. But everyone says zombies can't be trusted. Why does this zombie seem so reasonable? Hu Ziying stared at your leaving back. She could barely believe it. Could it be, are there really zombies that don't eat humans in this world? Wu Junqing, on the other hand, breathed a huge sigh of relief. Just now, he felt like he was carrying an enormous weight on his shoulders. He felt like more than 2,000 lives were pressing down on him. He had never felt this suffocated before. When he came back to his senses, he had actually gambled on a zombie keeping its word. Luckily, he won the bet. He couldn't describe how he felt at this moment. Did we win or did we lose? Neither. It's that humanity was given a patch of land to survive by a zombie, and there's no guarantee he won't go back on his word later. Otherwise, with the power he has shown, even if he breaks into the settlement alone, no one can do anything to him. When they received the news that the cleanup troops were returning, Chu Tianhui and the 4 leaders traveled 3 kilometers out to greet them. He patted Wu Juncheng on the shoulder. He was extremely relieved. "You've come back with a resounding victory. Great job, Hu Ziying, come over here." He spoke first. "That's not the case. That zombie is far stronger than we expected. Its threat level is no lower than a tier 4 zombie. But he doesn't seem to have any intention of slaughtering humans. Maybe we misunderstood that zombie from the very beginning." After Chu Tianhui kept pressing for answers, they finally learned the truth of the matter. The several leaders who had just walked over heard these words. They also fell silent. So the army actually can't do anything to him at all. We were even forced to make a deal with him. Chu Tianhui's expression turned even gloomier. Even if all of us work together, we can't hurt him. Has he already reached tier 4? If that's really the case, even if he lets humans off for now, there's no guarantee he won't attack again later. The army held a group meeting before entering the city. The content was very simple. No one is allowed to mention anything about this operation to anyone. The senior management will announce that we won a great victory this time, because what the survivors need is hope. When Lui Weii heard the news that the army had returned in triumph, for a moment she didn't know whether to be happy or what. People around her were hugging each other and crying, celebrating the victory. She was the only one zoning out. Is Mr. Zombie really dead? What will happen to Xiaohan then? On the other side, after you return to your residence, you start to open the small notebook. Scheming people. The handwriting is pretty good. Superpower cultivation method. You only roughly skimmed through the first part, but you are a little confused after reading it. Do my attribute points count as superpower energy units? If they do, then do I have over 500 or over 1600? No matter how you look at it, it's way over the upper limit. Should I try crossing the new bridge again? Following the cultivation method, you start to calm down and look inward. You can't get the hang of it at first. But as your breathing gradually stabilizes, you seem to see a very, very long bridge. There's no end in sight. There's something under the bridge that looks like a river, but not quite. You can't see it clearly. It's like looking at flowers in a dream, blurry and indistinct. You try to lift your leg to step onto the bridge, but you find your body feels light and weak. It's hard to exert any strength. You just step onto the new bridge. A soft murmur comes from beside your ear. You can't make out what it's saying. You just feel extremely irritated. Just then, Mei Ying suddenly appears. She looks like she just let out a sigh of relief. "Master, what's wrong with you?" She originally came back to report intelligence, only to find you sitting at the courtyard gate, with your eyes closed. To avoid disturbing you, Mei Ying has been guarding beside you this whole time. Hearing this, you rub your forehead. You feel a little disoriented, like it's not real. "It's nothing. Did you come to see me?" "Because you have new intelligence," Mei Ying hurries to explain. "Master, I've already found the tier 3 cultivation method for humans, but the archive room is pretty heavily guarded. It's not that I don't dare to break in by force. I'm just afraid I'll delay your important matters, Master." You nod after hearing this. You did well. "But I've already obtained the cultivation method." Yuan Yingzi, in the future, investigate more about the deep mountains in the south. After all, that giant bird has been dead for several days. From what you know about these zombies, the giant bird's boss will never let this go easily. Until now. We haven't heard a single thing from them. There must be something going on in the deep mountains. Seeing Mei Ying leave, you are just about to start training. A faint panel appears in front of you. All 3 attributes have increased by a lot. Is it because of the new bridge? You are a little confused, but that seems to be the only possible explanation. You can't figure it out, so you decide to stop thinking about it. As long as I can get stronger, that's all that matters. What you don't expect is, actually when you were crossing the new bridge, the energy factors in the surrounding air turned into a vortex. They poured into your body like crazy, just like a black hole, or like a whale swallowing everything in its path. These past few days, ever since you ordered to stop expanding eastward, Sangzhou and Shandian have been leading a group of their underlings to provide support in the south. Ji Feng suddenly looks towards the mountaintop opposite. He frowns. There are 3 more tier 3 auras. That's not all. The number of ranked zombies is still increasing rapidly. Sandian, gather all your men immediately and prepare to evacuate. At the same time, send the fastest ones to find Zhou Ren, Hongui, and Tita. Tell them to come support Ji Feng. He spoke extremely fast. Shandian is just about to leave. A zombie eagle with a wingspan of over 5 meters dives down from high altitude, creating gusts of strong wind, hovers above the heads of Ji Feng and the other zombies. Its eyes are full of contempt. Its tone is cold. "The matter of you killing our messenger, my lord already knows about it. But my lord is merciful. He will give you one more chance. Surrender or die." It doesn't hide its late tier 3 aura at all. It's even faintly stronger than Jifeng. Sang Biao is very unconvinced when he sees this. His body subconsciously gets ready for battle. Damn it. It seems like as long as the other side dares to make a move, he will strike back immediately. Jifeng's gaze shows no fear at all. I need to ask my boss for his opinion on this matter. You can wait a day or two, right? The zombie eagle seems to see through Jifeng's plan at a glance. Humph, you still want to stall for time? No need for that trouble. I'll go there myself and capture your master. A puny existence like an ant. How dare you put on airs? I'll show you what real strength is. With that, the zombie eagle doesn't wait for Jifeng to speak. It even ignores several zombies' angry eyes. It directly spreads its wings and flies towards the village. Daofeng sees this. He swings the knife in his right hand. He cuts a tree as thick as a person's waist in half at the middle. How dare you insult our master? This is unforgivable. The other few zombies also have gloomy looks in their eyes. Their killing intent is completely undisguised. Jushi roars, "Die. All of you must die." He's not very good at talking, but these few words are enough to show his anger. For a moment, the other 4 zombies don't react. Shandian is a little stunned. What do we do? The mood we just built up is totally ruined. Then they hear Sang Biao say in a deep voice, "Then let's fight." Shandian's charging speed is not slow at all. At the same time, he roars, "All zombies, listen to my order. Kill them all, even though he roars like this." The message can't reach all the zombies, but there's no time left. This is the only way. At the same time, in the mountains opposite, the over 2-meter-tall zombie wolf king hears the roars from the opposite side. His eyes are full of killing intent. A bunch of ants, they have no idea what they're doing. "All zombie beasts, come with me to kill the enemies." Hundreds of beast roars spread out, shaking the sky and the earth. Soon the 2 sides meet in the valley. A huge battle between the 2 sides is about to break out. At this time, in the 3-story Western-style house in the village, you just walk out of the gate. You realize your attributes have once again made a qualitative leap. You are a little confused, counting the time. You've been crossing the new bridge for 8 days now. Though crossing the new bridge has brought you great improvements, your new bridge seems to have no end. Suddenly, a black dot in the distant sky rapidly grows larger. It dives down with boundless strong wind. So you're the one who has been defying my lord for so long. You're still only tier 2. You're so useless. The zombie eagle doesn't take you seriously at all. It extends its claw to grab at you. In the valley, after exchanging dozens of moves in a row, Jifeng and the zombie wolf king both retreat dozens of meters. Jifeng slams both palms into the ground, plowing deep grooves into the ground before he barely manages to steady himself. The zombie wolf king crashes through several trees in a row before stopping. I've always been curious. You're obviously a speed type. Zombie, so why are your strength and physique also so solid? But if I can eat you, I'll probably evolve to be even more perfect. With a wolf howl, the zombie wolf king charges again. His main build is strength-focused. His speed can't match Jifeng's, but he outclasses Jifeng in every other aspect. Unlike this evenly matched fight here, Sang Biao and the other 3 subordinates are getting completely overwhelmed. Each of them is fighting 2 opponents, sometimes even 3. Sang Biao punches a tier 3 zombie wolf away, but gets attacked from behind by another tier 3 zombie wolf. My lord has already sent an army here. You have no idea how powerful my lord is. You are doomed to lose. Why bother struggling for nothing? The zombie wolf king says this out loud, but his eyes are no longer as contemptuous as they were at first. Jifeng is gasping for breath, blood oozing from his nose and mouth, but he grins. Like you said, you guys have no idea how powerful my boss is. Meanwhile, somewhere else, a figure plummets down from high altitude first. It slams into the basement, making a deafening noise. A huge zombie hawk lies on the ground, its head sunk into a crater, both wings broken. It's already dead. You are slightly surprised. This zombie hawk actually survived 2 of your attacks, though you only used 50% of your strength for the first hit. But you should know, all 3 of your current stats are extremely high. Your power is way beyond what a tier 3 zombie can match. You've been staying on this planet lately, and haven't paid much attention to what's going on outside. But a late-stage tier 3 zombie hawk dared to sneak attack you. That says a lot. As you think this through, you grab the hawk's claw casually and leap dozens of meters into the air. A sonic boom spreads through the air and fades away at an unbelievable speed. When you get close to the first mountain, you sense the commotion of a fight in the distance. You look down. The ground is littered with all kinds of zombie corpses. Many of them are underlings that Sang Biao took in, which means they are your subordinates too. A surge of anger rises in your chest. You kick the zombie hawk's corpse towards the battlefield with full force and follow right behind it. You land heavily with a thunderous crash. The zombie hawk's corpse is already huge, plus its physique is pretty tough. It sinks the ground dozens of centimeters deep on impact. The noise is so loud. Many zombies look over at the same time. Some even forget they are in the middle of a fight. The whole battlefield goes quiet for a few seconds. Hawk War General, one of the Tier 3 zombies, recognizes the zombie hawk's corpse and can't believe his eyes for a moment. How is this possible? The Hawk War General is the strongest under our lord. Even the zombie Wolf King is no match for him. How could he die? Yingzi was already at the end of his rope, but he feels completely relieved the second he sees you arrive. But he also feels extremely guilty at the same time. My lord, it's all our incompetence. Otherwise, we wouldn't have needed you to come here in person, my lord. 4 zombies take the chance to surround them, speaking in a mocking tone. So what if your lord is here? Everyone who comes here today is gonna die. Obviously, the zombie hawk's death shocked them, but it's not enough to break their will. They didn't see it with their own eyes. Who knows if the hawk wasn't ganged up on and killed? Yingzi and Daofeng's expressions change drastically when they hear this. At the same time, the battlefield that was quiet for a few seconds erupts into fighting again. Roars and howls ring out nonstop. You don't stay idle either. In the blink of an eye, you appear next to the heavily injured Sang Biao. You pat him casually. Good job. Go recover first. Then you grab a Tier 3 zombie wolf by the neck with one hand. You squeeze slightly, and with a crisp crack, his neck breaks right off. The zombie wolf king sees this scene and immediately uses the force from clashing with Jifeng to leap back dozens of meters. A Tier 2 killing a Tier 3 this easily? That's impossible. The zombie wolf king feels his entire understanding of zombies is turned upside down. Just then, the zombie wolf king notices the zombie hawk's corpse and is terrified out of his wits. He already killed the Hawk War General. The zombie wolf king howls immediately. The situation has changed. Retreat now. Right after giving the order, he himself turns around and runs immediately. As the zombie wolf king's order spreads, all the zombie beasts drop their opponents and flee into the forest behind them. They were already in a winning position, so their retreat doesn't meet much resistance. You were about to chase after them but suddenly stop and look towards the opposite mountaintop with a serious expression. A tiger roar comes from the opposite mountain. Though you have no proof, you are 100% sure that the other party is a Tier 4 zombie. Maybe it's instinct. All the Tier 1 and 2 zombies on your side drop to the ground in unison. This kind of pressure is definitely not normal. Zombie, you have proven your strength and value. Become my subordinate, and I will overlook all your previous offenses and spare you for your disrespect. Don't rush to refuse. I will give you 1 day to think about it. After saying that, there's no more sound from the mountain. It seems he doesn't even bother saying any threatening words. After all, in the eyes of a Tier 4 zombie, you are nothing more than a slightly special Tier 2 zombie. You're still Tier 2 at the end of the day. You think for a moment after hearing this, then wave at Shandian and Sang Biao next to you. Within half a day, I want you to gather all the zombies. We've come this far in the fight. You think you can just let bygones be bygones whenever you want. Faced with the provocation from the Tier 4 zombie tiger, you choose to take the initiative to attack. After all, you know zombies better than anyone. You don't believe a single word that comes out of his mouth. Put yourself in his shoes. If you were a Tier 4 zombie, and a special Tier 2 zombie disrespected you, would you ever let him go? So if you weren't worried that when you fight the Tier 4 zombie tiger, your subordinates would get completely wiped out by his subordinates, you would have charged over there a long time ago. You first find a rock on the mountaintop to sit on, then start focusing inward to check your status. A huge fight is coming. Every little bit of strength you can gain helps. The worst case scenario is, you will have to face a fully powered Tier 4 zombie, because you're not sure yet what your current maximum strength is. But the thought of fighting a Tier 4 zombie makes you a little excited. After all, the aura you sensed from him just now didn't feel that overwhelming to you. Besides, you always feel that there's something familiar in his aura. Meanwhile, on the other side, the heavily injured zombie Wolf King is prostrate on the ground, not daring to look directly at the tall, imposing figure in front of him. That figure is over 3 meters tall even when lying on the ground. He's probably over 5 meters tall when standing up. The zombie Wolf King looks like a tiny chick next to him. His huge tiger head stares at the Wolf King. Every breath he exhales carries hot air waves. Wolf, do you know your crime? The zombie Wolf King hears this, and his whole body shakes. All the arrogance he had when facing Jifeng is long gone. Please spare my life, my lord. Give me a chance to make up for my mistake. There are several other zombie beasts behind him, all Tier 3 zombie beasts that just retreated from the battlefield. Besides them, there are several other zombie beasts standing on both sides. all looking at the prostrate wolf king with mocking eyes. The zombie tiger snorts angrily. If I hadn't just finished fighting that stupid bear and lost more than half of my subordinates, I would have definitely eaten you. The implication is clear. He is letting the zombie wolf king off this time. Just then, a rabbit even bigger than a pig standing nearby speaks up. "My lord, are we really going to take that zombie in?" The zombie tiger grinned. For him, becoming a boost on my evolution path. It's a blessing. Overlook past grudges. Are you kidding me? It's just a delaying tactic, right? If I hadn't finished absorbing it yet, the treasure I worked so hard to seize, I would have attacked long ago. Actually, after it saw your formidable strength, a voice popped up in the zombie tiger's mind. Eating him will take my strength to the next level. Meanwhile, Zhu Ren and Hong Gui from the northwest and west routes, after receiving the news, they gathered all their subordinates immediately. They even abandoned the target they were attacking. In comparison, expanding territory right now seems irrelevant. However, Hong Gui has no idea. When he left, a group of humans wearing combat uniforms, with a mountain and sun pattern on their chests, watched the whole process from a tall building in the distance. One of the young men frowned. Something was off. Those zombies have been expanding crazily recently. Why did they suddenly retreat? They've spent this entire period monitoring the movements of Hong Gui and other zombies. After all, if they keep expanding, they will find one of the Chaoyang organization's bases sooner or later. Another base was destroyed a while ago. It seems these zombies are the culprits. If that happens again, the Chaoyang organization really can't handle it. But the scale of these high-ranked zombies is too massive. Even the Chaoyang organization has no good countermeasures. Someone breathed a sigh of relief. At least they're not expanding anymore. That should be a good thing, right? Captain. The group turned to look at a pretty woman in her early 20s. The woman frowned delicately. Her tone was serious. This isn't necessarily a good thing. All right, Xiao Dai and I will follow them to see what's going on. You three go back and report immediately. They remembered a piece of intelligence. There is suspected to be a Tier 4 zombie in the southern mountains. The organization also sent teams to investigate. As a result, all those teams disappeared. The probability of a Tier 4 zombie existing is extremely high. If it really is a Tier 4 zombie, that might explain why these zombies suddenly retreated. Back on your side. The gathering speed of your zombie subordinates was even faster than you expected. For these high-ranked zombies, running dozens of kilometers is no trouble at all. When you were woken up from your rest at Xinqiao, only 3 hours had passed. All your dependents, except for Mei Ying, who was assigned to protect Chen Xiaohan, were all present. Pass the order down. Except for those who can no longer fight due to previous battle injuries. Everyone comes with me to kill the enemy. As you said that, you looked at Dao Feng and Ji Feng. Ji Feng, Yingzi and Dao Feng. Do what you can, and that was a small show of concern for your subordinates. Why didn't you mention Sang Biao? He already has a strong recovery ability. Plus, he's amplified by Chen Fei's flesh and blood contract. He's almost fully recovered in just 3 hours. In the dense forest, you led a zombie army of more than 2,000, approaching the opposite hilltop. Without any concealment, such a large movement couldn't be hidden anyway. You and the zombie army had barely set off. When you were detected by the zombie beasts on the opposite hilltop, a Tier 3 zombie python flicked its tongue. A cold glint flashed fiercely in its eyes. Damn it, do they really think they're a match for us? All zombie beasts prepare to meet the enemy. Countless zombie beasts in the mountain roared. Their numbers are even greater than yours. Previous battles caused them heavy losses. Even so, the number of Tier 3 auras in the zombie beast army is no less than that on your side. You weren't feeling relaxed at the moment. You immediately expanded your perception to full range, covering both armies. As long as you wanted, you could clearly sense the movements of every zombie. You could also focus your attention on a small area. You quickly locked onto the powerful aura on the hilltop. After confirming the target, you pushed off hard with your feet, leaping into the air, ready to jump over the zombie beast army, heading straight for a chubby pig-sized gray-furred rabbit that leaped up. Blocking your path. If you want to see my master, you have to get through me first. Before the rabbit could finish speaking, you lashed out with a whip kick directly at it. The gray-furred rabbit plummeted like a meteor. Its waist was kicked so hard it folded in half. The zombie tiger on the hilltop slowly opened its scarlet eyes. Hot breath puffed out of its huge nostrils. Very good, your choice has successfully angered me. You will pay for your choice. It let out a roar. The sound wave swept sand and stones around into the air. Your strength made it impossible for it to ignore you and continue absorbing the treasure. The zombie tiger also didn't expect that not only would you not surrender, You even dared to take the initiative to attack. Forget a whole day. Not even half a day had passed when the zombie tiger had to stop absorbing. You stopped after approaching. You were a little shocked when you first saw it. It's so huge. This 5-meter tall tiger is really intimidating. It felt like facing a small hill. In comparison, your height of over 1.7 meters made you look like an insect. The zombie tiger had no intention of wasting words. Die, you ant! It moved its body, immediately creating a level 10 gale. It actually disappeared directly from your field of vision. You subconsciously blocked to the left. Then you felt like you were hit by a train. Your body flew uncontrollably to the right until you broke through several large trees in a row. You barely managed to stop your momentum. It was a little surprised when it saw this. You can actually barely keep up with my speed. What the hell? This is a damn tier 2 zombie. Even though the zombie tiger had a rough idea of your strength as a zombie, it still seemed to have underestimated you.
But that's fine.
Eating you will probably make up for my losses. As it was speaking, the zombie tiger disappeared again. Its speed was so fast even your eyes couldn't keep up. Only your perception could barely lock onto it. But the zombie tiger never would have thought that the mental power of a tier 2 zombie like you could actually be this strong. You turned around to block, barely blocking its huge tiger claw. At the same time, you ducked by a hair's breadth. You dodged its combined claw attack. However, the zombie tiger had no intention of letting you catch your breath. It kept swinging its claws. You dodged repeatedly. When you couldn't dodge, you took the hit head on. Wounds kept appearing on your body, but they healed at a speed visible to the naked eye. If any other zombie was here, they would probably be worn down to death sooner or later. Meanwhile, on a certain hilltop, the woman watching from afar was shocked to her core. This is a zombie war. She could barely believe her eyes. She knew that zombies devour each other, but she had never seen such a large-scale battle. The most noteworthy thing is that huge figure on the hilltop over there. Even from thousands of meters away, she could feel the intense sense of oppression. The human-shaped zombie fighting it was hard to see clearly, but it wasn't hard to tell how powerful it was. The entire hilltop was flattened by their battle. What kind of power is this? I'm afraid only a tier 4 zombie could do this. Captain, should we go back first? The young man said worriedly. The woman shook her head. We can see too little from this distance. Let's move another 300 meters forward. The young man broke out in a cold sweat when he heard that. This was the third time she had said that. Moving another 300 meters forward would bring us almost to the edge of the battlefield. There's a high chance we'll be spotted by those 2 terrifying zombies. Of course, the woman knows how dangerous this is, but we have to keep an eye on a major event like this, if possible. When both sides are badly hurt from fighting each other, we might even get the chance to take them out. Tier 4 zombie. This kind of research sample is incredibly valuable. Maybe by researching tier 4 zombies, humans can find a way to break through to tier 4. Along the way, they left special markers belonging to the Dawn organization. The support team should be here pretty soon. Right now, as the zombie tiger looks at you, it starts to feel uneasy. The recovery ability of this tier 2 zombie. Why is it so strong? What's more, he seems to be getting stronger little by little. You didn't expect this either. The tier 4 zombie is way stronger than you thought. If you didn't have the super regeneration skill, you would have been done for a long time ago. You also put all the stat points you gained during the fight into your constitution stat. That way your injuries can heal faster. This high-intensity fight, it's literally dancing on a tightrope. The zombie tiger is obviously a speed type. Even with its huge size, its strength still isn't top tier among tier 4 zombies. When the zombie tiger can't kill you with a single strike, you know your chance has come. The humans who just got a little closer in the distance. The woman sees this scene. She screams in her head, is this what tier 4 is like? But why does my perception tell me that humanoid zombie is only tier 2? If it were a tier 3 special type, fighting a tier 4, it'd make sense if they were evenly matched. After all, special types have boosted abilities. Some special types are even strong enough to fight opponents of higher tiers. That's understandable. But a tier 2 fighting a tier 4, is that my imagination? Die, get ready to buff me with your ability anytime. Ever since you faced that faceless tier 4 zombie, this is the first time you've gone all out. You've even used up so much energy, but you still haven't turned the tide of the fight. Suddenly, you seem to sense a familiar aura. It's the shard. Your brain starts working at full speed. You've pretty much figured it out. Maybe the one day the other side mentioned earlier was for them to absorb the shard. They might not even need a full day. Good thing you acted decisively enough. Otherwise, once they finish absorbing it, you'd only be able to run. You might not even be able to get away. The chaotic aura inside the zombie tiger's body is obviously getting hard to suppress. I admit you are the second guy besides that stupid bear that has given me this much trouble, but compared to that stupid bear, you're still nowhere near as tough. You were so eager to fight me. I bet you can hear that voice from the void too, right? You frown a little when you hear that. What is he even talking about? I didn't hear any voice at all. Fine, whatever you say. There's no way we're gonna work things out anyway. Any excuse or reason is useless. The zombie tiger stops suppressing its internal injuries. Its chaotic aura is completely exposed now. That familiar feeling is getting stronger and stronger. You're 100% sure the other guy has the shard on him. You didn't sense it before. Most likely because he was in the middle of absorbing it. And the zombie tiger is definitely stronger than the tier 4, faceless zombie. This is the real
True speed.
The zombie tiger sneers, watching you before you even have time to react. Its giant paw slams down. You just get ready to counter it. When you feel a sharp pain in your back, your body screams in agony. You feel like you're about to fall apart. Then you crash several meters deep into the mountain. Buff my constitution. You grit your teeth and push yourself up with both hands. Then you push off hard with both legs and launch straight out of the crater. The zombie tiger's expression changes when it sees this. You're still alive. How is that possible?
What kind of monster are you?
It admits your strength isn't weak, but you're still at the very bottom of tier 4. But this guy is literally an unkillable cockroach. The zombie tiger laughs in rage. Its scarlet eyes are filled with greed and madness. Fine, great. As long as I eat you, my power will definitely increase. After saying that, it disappears again. The hurricane it kicks up plows a deep ditch into the ground. You look around after landing. Your mental power sweeps across the surrounding area non-stop, but you can only barely make out a blurry figure because the other guy's just too fast. You watch as 3 sharp claws pierce through your chest, but you don't feel the shock and fear you expected. You grin eerily instead. You ignore your injuries and grab the zombie tiger's paw behind your back and sink your teeth into it. There's a loud ripping sound. You bite off a huge chunk of meat.
After you see that the 3 stats
Are constantly increasing after eating the meat, you feel completely relieved. I'm hungry anyway. I'll eat while I fight. Right now, the zombie tiger sees you've bitten a chunk out of its paw. It flies into a rage instantly. You despicable ant. How dare you take a bite of my flesh? You're looking for death. After saying that, the aura around it grows even more violent, like a fired cannonball. It charges at you again at full speed. The wounds on your body that just started growing, granulation tissue, haven't had time to heal yet, and they get torn open again. But you don't care about the mere pain at all. Instead, you take another bite of the tiger's paw. The zombie tiger slowly realizes, no matter how badly it injures you, it can't stop. Your absurdly strong recovery ability. It's even created some kind of weird balance. On the other hand, for itself, even though the amount of meat you've bitten off is nothing, compared to its 5-meter-tall body. But if this keeps going, it'll get eaten up completely sooner or later. Suddenly it comes up with a bold idea. You dare to try to eat me. Then I'll swallow you whole in one bite. As it says that, it opens its jaws wide to bite you, but it dismisses that idea in an instant, because alarm bells are going off in its head. It feels like if it eats you, something terrible will happen. It stops charging forward subconsciously, and pulls back at full speed instead. But you aren't gonna let this perfect close quarters chance go. In the split second, the zombie tiger hesitates. You wrap your arms around its right front paw, and open your mouth to bite. The zombie tiger's tough body is like tofu in your mouth. You leave a dent every time you bite. Damned, despicable ant. The zombie tiger roars angrily. It shakes its right front paw wildly but can't shake you off. It then tries to stab you to death with its left front paw, but you're not completely unprepared. You try your best to avoid vital parts. As for the piling up injuries on your body, as long as you aren't chopped into pieces, it doesn't affect you eating the zombie tiger. Granulation tissue keeps growing out of your wounds, and they heal at a speed visible to the naked eye. Then they get injured again before they're fully healed. You need to eat the zombie tiger's meat to heal your wounds. Eating its meat will inevitably get you injured. It's an endless vicious cycle. The zombie tiger sees its right front paw is bitten horribly out of shape. It grits its teeth and slashes its own right front paw off with one strike. There's a squelching sound. You only feel the shaking stop. Your body flies along with its right front paw as it's thrown away. Then you crash to the ground. The tiger cut off its own paw to survive. Your eyelid twitches a little. You actually admire it quite a bit for being this decisive as a tier 4 zombie tiger. The zombie tiger looks at your super regeneration ability. It already has the thought of retreating, but it's not willing to give up either. So it came to a decision. No more chances for it. It was convinced it had a complete advantage in speed. Even if it couldn't win the fight, it could always escape in the end. The charging zombie tiger suddenly froze mid-movement. Something inside its body twitched. The price of interrupting the crystal absorption fully kicked in at this moment. It had expected this when it decided to go all out. It just didn't expect it to happen so soon. That treasure? It was originally snatched from another Tier 4 zombie bear. To absorb this thing, it had made full preparations. It even left its territory, and took care of a zombie that didn't show it respect along the way. Who knew the situation would get so out of hand? Damn it, why now of all times? Just as the zombie tiger was about to retreat, it noticed a figure taking the chance to climb onto its back. And the first thing he did after getting up there was tearing a huge chunk of flesh off its back and started gobbling it down noisily. You originally wanted to try. Using the flesh contract on the zombie tiger, you might even be able to subdue it if you got lucky. But the zombie tiger seemed to sense something was wrong and started accelerating wildly. The strong air pressure forced you to lie flat on its back. You couldn't move forward even an inch. With no other choice, you could only keep eating the flesh. Free food is free food after all. The zombie tiger suddenly flew into a rage. It leaped high into the air, reaching hundreds of meters in the air in the blink of an eye. Then it turned so its back would hit the ground first, and slammed down hard. A deafening boom rang out. Shockwaves rolled in all directions. Many nearby zombies and infected beasts were blown dozens of meters away by the aftershock, even though blood was trickling from the corner of your mouth. Your eyes widened sharply. You still held onto the tiger's back with a death grip. A Tier 3 squad that had just entered the mountain range in the distance heard the commotion. Their faces darkened immediately. With a racket this loud, anyone would know which direction to go. No need to look for markers at all. The squad moved forward at full speed. They soon found the woman and the teenager, watching the battle at the edge of the battlefield. They suppressed their auras to hide themselves as best as they could. Captain Ouyang. What's going on here? Youngling turned around at the question. Her taut nerves seemed to relax. A little, Cece. Use your perception ability to check for me, please. Is the zombie on the tiger's back really Tier 2? Cece froze immediately after hearing that. Her first thought was that Youngling was joking. That giant tiger is clearly Tier 4. Whatever's making it this much of a mess. That humanoid zombie must be Tier 4 too, right? But Cece still used her ability anyway. Her perception spread out instantly, covering the area. As a mid-Tier 3 perceiver, it's not hard for her to confirm someone's tier. Besides, the two were fighting so intensely, they didn't have time to hide their auras at all. Shock immediately crossed Cece's face. It's really Tier 2. How is this possible? A Tier 2 fighting a Tier 4. What is wrong with this world? Or is my ability malfunctioning? Everyone turned to look at Lin Fan. They remembered the intelligence Lin Fan and Captain Xiao provided. When they first entered the stronghold, the zombie leader that destroyed Chaoyang Outpost Number 3 was a Tier 2 zombie. Lin Fan's face was already dark with rage at this point. His anger was almost uncontrollable. The zombie that killed his girlfriend. And the zombie that killed his comrades was right in front of him. If he didn't know full well that the gap between their strengths was way too big, and that he'd just be throwing his life away if he went up now, Lin Fan would have charged already. A sharp glint flashed across the lead man's eyes. Don't rush. At this rate, the two zombies will definitely end up badly injured. We'll make our move then. If we can transport the Tier 4 zombie's body to the capital, maybe the human leaders can figure out the path to Tier 4 from it. Right at this moment, the ground trembled again. The zombie tiger had lost count of how many times it had jumped and slammed down, from a few hundred meters at first, to over 1,000 meters later on. But you were like a parasite, stuck firmly to the zombie tiger's back. The zombie tiger started to regretting snatching this treasure from the zombie bear, regretting sending its subordinate to recruit this humanoid zombie, which ended up becoming the trigger for this fight. Damn that Eagle War general, and regretting even more underestimating this humanoid zombie, leading step by step to this situation right now. The thought of surrender only flashed through the zombie tiger's mind and was rejected in an instant. If the other party could hear that divine, irresistible voice that seemed to come from the heavens, there's no way they could coexist. This is the choice of evolution. The zombie tiger's aura was already starting to fade, but it was still arrogant. I underestimated you too much. If I had gone all out from the start regardless of my injuries, I would never have been pushed to this point. But don't think you've won. Digesting my flesh and blood won't be that easy. The zombie tiger's gaze sharpened, as if it had made up its mind about something. It stomped its paw on the ground, shattering the ground beneath it. A deafening sonic boom echoed through the mountains. The zombie tiger charged forward at an unbelievable speed. At the same time, you could clearly sense the zombie tiger's life force was fading rapidly. You really didn't expect that a tier 4 zombie had a life-burning trick up its sleeve. When you tried to let go, you found the zombie tiger's muscles were tensed up, and strong wind pressure surrounded its entire body, pinning you down firmly. In the blink of an eye, the zombie tiger's speed increased to several times the speed of sound. It targeted a stone mountain. It accelerated over several kilometers. The powerful hurricane generated by its acceleration carved a gully several kilometers long into the ground. Everywhere it passed, plants and trees were sent flying first. Sand and gravel splattered everywhere. Not to mention the zombies caught in the blast. They were torn to shreds by the wind pressure instantly. Before getting close to the stone mountain, the zombie tiger slightly adjusted its posture so that its back would hit the mountain wall first. A loud crash rang out. The humans several kilometers away saw a flash before their eyes, and that huge figure was gone. Immediately after, the ground shook violently, just like an earthquake had hit, because they were too far away. Even Lee Cece couldn't sense what was happening, even when the zombie tiger first started moving. She tried to lock onto it, but was injured by the shockwave. Her mental power was quite disrupted. Everyone swallowed hard. Tier 4 power is actually this strong? This was their first time seeing it. A Tier 4 battle. Their worldview was being constantly shattered, because Tier 4 was so much stronger than Tier 3. Up until now, humans haven't even figured out the path to Tier 4 yet. But zombies, thanks to their special traits, already have more than one Tier 4 among them. Even some special variants aren't Tier 4 yet, but have Tier 4 combat power. Is there really still hope for humanity?